Ladies and gentlemen, I am super excited to introduce you to the West Coast League's first ever Game of the Week. Your Marion Berries, the host site, coming down from Central Washington, the Yakima Valley Pippins, live on the WCL Live app, and obviously on the Marion Berries live stream on YouTube. It's going to be a great weekend, a great day here today. World Beat celebration at the ballpark. Game one of the series between the Pippins and the Berries. Berries already went on the road to take on the Pippins. They're going to finish out this 2026 matchup here on Sunday. Welcome back inside the Minuteman Press Box. I am Cole Weber, your voice of the Berries. Super excited to be with you on this beautiful day. As always in Salem, Oregon, 75 degrees, some opportunistic winds blowing across the ballpark. No place I'd rather be, and hopefully no place you'd rather be either. I mentioned WCL Game of the Week for the Berries, who just got off a road trip, which we're about to talk about right now. Last time we were here, though, last Sunday, Game 3 against Ridgefield, it was all Raptors. It was third game of the series. Raptors sealed the sweep, put up a bunch of runs early in the game. Ken Tomataka was fantastic. Double digits hits in the 3 games. Here's a Zach Wattis triple into the gap in right center field. And Ridgefield went up 9-0 early in the game. Took the Berries a while to get the bats going. They waited until the later innings, and here's Martin Serrano getting a hold of one. I think there's only one thing to call that, a bomb to right field. Scored him and Danny Weidman. That was the second and third runs of the game for Marion in the 8th inning. Little too late, but it was some good momentum because Cale Barney to lead off the bottom of the 9th, dead center field, home run of his own. Made the final score look a little bit better than what it was. 11-4 the loss. But those bats followed them on the road trip. They started in Corvallis, and they put it on the Knights. Here's Danny Weidman adding insult to injury, getting a hold of an inside fastball, taking it down the line. Grand slam to clear the bases. Put the Bears up 9-1. They won the game 13-3. And then they went up to Walla Walla in maybe the craziest West Coast League game of all time. Here's Danny Weidman again, triple down the line in right field to lead off the top of the 9th. They were down 7. They scored 12 runs in the inning. Ended up winning 23-19. We're going to have to talk about that game a little bit later. They went 2-2 on the road trip, and now they are here at home hosting Yakima Valley. There's a look at the WCL North Division standings. A little bit different than what we see in the South. Wenatchee 13-5. They've been really good to start the year. Bellingham, your reigning WCL champs, 12-6. And Nanaimo playing a lot better. They just beat Corvallis in a 3-game set. Kamloops, Kelowna, Victoria, all bunched up in front of Edmonton and Port Angeles, who we saw here in Salem to start off the summer. They're at 4-14. One of those wins against the Berries. Bunched up in the South. There's a lot of good teams. I think it's the stronger division. Berries right now 6th at 8-10, but we've got a long season to go. There's our mascot, Barry, with the green shoes. It is World Beat celebration for the World Beat Festival, which is coming up next weekend. We're going to take our first break on the broadcast. Come on back, WCL Live app and YouTube. I am Cole Weber. Taking a break.
The final touches together ahead of opening night, but as you can see, all brand new synthetic turf, and the real coup de grace, I would say, is all of our brand new seats that we've installed. So we'll have some hospitality decks in the corners as well by the bullpens, and of course our fun zone and our new inflatable wiffle ball field making its debut tomorrow night as well. We also purchased a new smoker for our new barbecue concession stand, so we'll have tri-tip sandwiches, brisket sandwiches, barbecue pulled pork as well, and expanding off of our award-winning Marion Berry barbecue sauce. We're going to be having our first fireworks night on the 3rd of July here at the ballpark, and then on July 17th, we're also going to be doing a drone show for all the fans. Check out our promo schedule. Every single night there's something different going on, something different and unique for families.
Welcome back, Berries fans, Pippins fans, any WCL fans who have tuned in for our first ever WCL Game of the Week. We are coming to the national anthem performed by Faith Mose.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Very nicely done. Faith.
Fantastic performance by Faith Mose, rocking the house here at Chemeketa Baseball Field on this Friday evening, June 19th. A couple minutes away from first pitch. We're going to go to our ceremonial first pitch right after we see the Sherwin-Williams painting of the plate. A future Berry wearing the all-purple cap out here giving the home base a little bit of a white tint. Thanks to Sherwin-Williams for that sponsorship. I've mentioned already, but it's the World Beat celebration tonight, presented by the World Beat Festival coming up on June 28th and 29th in Salem. World Beat Festival, a celebration of different cultures from all across the world. In pregame, we saw Paradise of Samoa perform a dance, some fire knife, and Karate for Kids perform in pregame. There's a lot of different things happening at the ballpark. Good showing so far from the Berry faithful. And we are coming out to the ceremonial first pitch, which will be thrown out by Kathleen Fish, Executive Director for World Beat.
Good.
Bouncing to the plate. Not a bad effort by Kathleen Fish, Executive Director for World Beat. Gonna have a big weekend ahead of her. About 8 days away. I had the opportunity to talk to a guy that you're familiar with here on the Marion Berries live stream, Danny Weidman. It's the WCL Game of the Week, and I'm here pregame with Danny Weidman, the former 2025 Berries WCL All-Star. Danny, it's great to have you back in Salem this summer. How you feeling? How was the spring? How does it feel to be back in Salem?
It's nice to be back in Salem. I left Oregon in the fall and went to a different state, and now I'm in Kansas. So it was a hot and cold spring over there in Kansas, but it's nice to be back home. I really wanted to be back in Salem this summer and be back with the family and just be back with the organization.
What was it like? Because you spent your whole life in Oregon, and you go out and you live in Kansas for a few months. What was it like living out on basically flat land in every direction?
Yeah, it's pretty flat out there. Everything kind of looks the same. A lot of hay bales and stuff like that out there, but pretty windy. Really cold winters. We got like a foot of snow during the winter.
Yeah.
And then but it got pretty hot during the spring. Got to like 90, 95 during some games. But I love it out there. The weather was pretty consistent, and it was a good time out there. I love my JUCO guys, and it was a good fit for me.
Yeah, I mean, you had a fantastic spring, 25 home runs, 70 RBIs. You batted like 436, and it's gotten you ready for this 2026 summer, and you guys just played a wild game over that road trip, game 2 against Walla Walla. Tell me what was going through your head as you guys came back from down 9, scored 12 runs in an inning, and ended up winning the game. Tell me what was happening.
Yeah, it was a crazy game. Went back and forth the whole game. A lot of runs scored, obviously. But top of the 9th, I had to lead off the inning, so I just wanted to try and get the team going, try and be nice and simple. So ended up getting a hit, and then Martin got the RBI there, and we just kind of kept going. Everybody just kind of kept getting hits, and that guy was getting all rowdy, and it was just a good time. It was nice to see our offense come together like that, and it's nice to see us just do that for the rest of the season, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, the offense came alive. 7 hits in the 1 inning, 12 runs scored. You guys get the win. That's the most runs scored by a team in WCL history, so you can add that to your list of accolades.
Yeah.
Tell me, what's next for Danny Weidman after this fall? What's the future look like for you?
Yeah, so I'll go back to Butler Community College in the fall, and hopefully have another good season there. I would like to find a school to go to before the season. Hopefully have a school, have a nice and settled season, nice sophomore season, and we'll see whether we have some pro interest or if we would like to go to school. So we'll see what it is.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, anybody'd be lucky to have you. Super talented. You're a great kid, and good luck tonight. It's game 1 against the Yakima Valley Pippins. Let's go get out there and get a win.
For sure, 100%.
Thank you, Danny. I appreciate you talking to me.
Yes, sir. Go Berries.
Hopefully Danny can keep doing what he's been doing on the road trip, but my player to watch tonight, Cale Barney. Last time we were here at home, he was 2 for 4 against Richfield. You see that single off the wall, should have been a double, and then the solo homer in the next inning to dead center field. About 15 feet over the fence, Cale finally found the bat against Walla Walla. You're going to see it right here. Here was one of the 2 doubles he had in that 12-run inning in the top of the ninth. This one down the line, cleared the bases. All 3 of his RBIs that night. He was 3 for 7, 3 doubles in the game. The bat's going. Let's hope he can keep it up. The future first baseman at Oregon State from Nolensville, Tennessee, is playing right field tonight. We're going to take one more break here on the broadcast and come back for the starting lineup after this. Welcome back, everybody. The Yakima Valley Pippins starting lineup is selected by head coach Chris Crustangel, back for his 5th season in the Central Washington Valley. Let's lead it off with left fielder number 3, Tyson Miller. Right behind him, Daichi Furuhata, the third baseman wearing number 26. In the 3 spot, we have the first baseman, number 17, Nick Velasquez. Batting cleanup, Luis Garcia from Western Oklahoma State playing right field. In the 5 spot, the center fielder, number 7, Jay O'Neill. Abel Ramos is the catcher wearing number 5. Behind him in the 7 spot, the DH number 40, Malachi Emery Henderson. Derek Almeida is the shortstop batting 8th. And batting 9th, the second baseman, number 1, Levi Correa. That's your Pippins. They've got a 2-1 lead over the Berries in their season series. All time at 6-3 in favor of Marion. And being selected by Coach Tucker Brock to start off the game, his 4th start of the summer, Nate Shikori, the Willamette Bearcat, going back for season number 4. He's 0-1 this summer, 4.15 ERA in 13 innings, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. The righty from Fairfield, California, will start us off on this Friday. WCL Game of the Week. Let us get this thing rolling. Shikori finds the zone. Strike one. Perfect way to start things off. Salem, Oregon, the capital of the Beaver State, the 33rd state in the U.S. of A. Shikori goes back to the plate and gets a swing and a miss from Tyson Miller, 5'8", 155-pounder from Long Beach, California, down 0-2 quickly. And here comes Shikori again. Little liner up the middle, soft liner, gets down in center field. How about Tyson Miller fighting with 2 strikes? Seeing a pitch that he liked, and doing something with it. Base hit to start things off for the Pippins, and this is an offense that can really go. Scored a bunch of runs against Marion at home back in the 3-game series, June 5th through the 7th. 2 wins for the Pippins, 12-5 and 11-5 in games 1 and 3. It was the Berries who put it on them, 9-2 in game 2 of that series. Pippins sitting right now tied for 3rd place in the WCL South as the 1-0 pitch is up and out from Shikori. Pippins wearing the green, Berries in the all-white with the SMB caps. Shikori comes set and heads to the plate with the 2-0. That's inside, pretty close, but no cigar. 3 balls, no strikes to Daichi Furuhata. Guy starting at the hot corner for Yakima. Pickoff move not in time. Furuhata just transferred to Northwest Nazarene. He's going to be going to Idaho for his junior season. And he spits on a fastball down the pipe from Shikori, working with 4 different pitches. Fastball, slider, sweeper, changeup for Mr. Nate. 3-1. There goes Miller to second. Throw from Flora. Is it in time? It probably was, but bounced in front of the second baseman, Sawyer Nelson. Could not come up with it. There's a stolen base for Miller. Gives the Pippins a runner in scoring position. Shikori with a 3-2. It's popped up into the air down the right field line. Can Jake Dodge get there? He's hustling. About 10 feet in front of him. Drops down untouched on the turf. We will remain with a 3 balls, 2 strike count. Daichi Furuhata, also 5'8", 195. From the country of Japan. Grew up in Nagano. 17th game this summer for the Pippins, batting .349 with 22 hits. Awaits the 3-2 from Shikori. Here he comes. Chopper foul. Really excited for this broadcast today. We've got a couple special guests coming up later in this game. Stay tuned. The 4th and the 6th innings. We're gonna have some new faces, new voices on the call. Here's another pop-up to the right side. Jake Dodge is going to get to this one. Gloves it above his head for out number 1 of the game. After the pop out by Furuhata, that brings us to Nick Velasquez. Left-hander wearing number 17. He's 6 feet tall, 195 pounds from Redlands, California. A lot of SoCal kids on this Pippins roster. Fastball from Shikori, up and out. Velasquez batting .328 this summer with 19 hits, 3 home runs, which is tied for the lead on the team. 17 runs batted in. That paces the roster. Swings and misses through a breaking ball. Nate Shikori, 3 years under his belt at Willamette. First time facing off against Velasquez this summer. All of Shikori's starts have been here at home in front of the home crowd. Fly ball out of play, heads toward the picnic deck over on the left field side. Comes down in the grass. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a mad dash toward it. Who can get there? Leroy. He gets the bronze medal. Gets there 3rd. Hard ground ball out of play. Leaves us at 1-2. Pippins' coaching staff a little different from last summer. The head coach, Kyle Crustangel, was here from 2021 to 2024. Took a break last year, and now he's back with the Pippins for his 5th summer. 1-2 popped up and out of play. Another foul ball from Velasquez. And there's the third base coach, Gunner. We call him Ponch. Wait up and Cherry. 1-2 from Shikori. That's hit hard into the gap. Gonna get down and roll all the way to the fence. Miller's gonna score easy. Velasquez, he's thinking three. He's gonna hold up at second base. RBI double for Nick Velasquez. Got all over the changeup from Shikori. 103 off the bat to score our first run here at the ballpark. First pitch to the cleanup batter down the line. Matthew Major lays out and makes the catch. Tagging up from second is Velasquez. He'll be safe at third. But Matthew Major getting his start in left field. Left his feet and made a catch down the left field line for out number 2. Great job by him, robbing Luis Garcia what was a sure double. Would have driven in another run. Two outs now, runner on third for the Pippins. Brings us to Jay O'Neill, the lefty center fielder, batting fifth. He's gonna line one out to left center. Major kind of lost it in the sun for a second, but he makes the grab. And 3 outs in the top of the first. Pippins snag a run off 2 hits, courtesy of a double to right center by Nick Velasquez, scoring Tyson Miller from second base. 1-0 lead for the Pippins. Game 1 of the series. We're going to be here all weekend, folks. Stick around. WCL Game of the Week live on the West Coast League live app and on YouTube. This is Marion Berries Baseball taking a break.
The final touches together ahead of opening night, but as you can see, all brand new synthetic turf, and the real coup de grace, I would say, is all of our brand new seats that we've installed. So we'll have some hospitality decks in the corners as well by the bullpens, and of course our fun zone and our new inflatable wiffle ball field making its debut tomorrow night as well. And we also purchased a new smoker for our new barbecue concession stand, so we'll have tri-tip sandwiches, brisket sandwiches, barbecue pulled pork as well, and expanding off of our award-winning Marion Berry barbecue sauce. We're going to be having our first fireworks night on the 3rd of July here at the ballpark, and then on July 17th, we're also going to be doing a drone show for all the fans. Check out our promo schedule. Every single night there's something different going on, something different and unique for families.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at Chemeketa Baseball Field for Game 1 of the series between the Marion Berries and the Yakima Valley Pippins. And here's the Marion Berries starting lineup as picked by head coach Tucker Brock. Leading off, the second baseman, number 5, Sawyer Nelson. Behind him, Danny Weidman playing center field, batting second. In the 3 spot, the DH, number 11, Martin Serrano. Batting cleanup, our shortstop, number 40, Tyler Dunning. Batting 5th, my player to watch, Cale Barney, starting his first game this summer in right field. Behind him, the catcher, number 8, Hudson Flora. Jake Dodge will be batting 7th, playing first. In the 8th spot, the left fielder, Matthew Major, and behind him, Nolan Rowe, third baseman, batting 9th. That's who the Berries got. And on the mound for the Pippins, we have number 42, Josh Mawhinney. Sophomore right-hander from Utah Valley will get a start in the bottom of the first, and it's a swing and a miss from Sawyer Nelson. Don't see that a lot from him. This is a guy who usually waits. He's been leading off for all the games that he started this summer, a total of 13 of them, playing in the middle infield. Sawyer Nelson leading the West Coast lead in walks by a good margin, 26. Second place is 19. And the 0-1 up above the zone, evens the count. Sawyer Nelson, super patient, a guy who just graduated high school a couple weeks ago from South Salem. Facing off against a college dude. Mawhinney with the 1-1. inside. He's got a fastball, slider, and changeup in the back pocket. That one clocking in at 89 miles per hour on the low inside corner, just missing. This is Mawini's 4th start of the summer. He misses low, bouncing before the plate. 3 balls, 1 strike. Mawini with a 2-1 record, 5.56 ERA, and just over 11 innings pitched. The 3-1 is in the zone. We got a full count for Sawyer Nelson to start. Nelson on the road trip played all 4 games, was 4 for 13 with 4 RBIs, 8 walks. The 3-2 inside. Nelson shimmied out of the way, went into rubber mode. He's trotting down to first. Either way, walk, hit by pitch. Might have hit him, might have not. 390, no matter what. Here's another look at it. Nelson can't really tell. But a leadoff base runner's a leadoff base runner. And now Danny Weidman trying to move him over with the sac bunt. He misses. Goes down 0-1 in the count. Danny Weidman just finished up his freshman year of college baseball at Butler Community College, where he raked. Butler down in Kansas. Nelson's got to dive back to the bag at first. Pickoff move from Mawini. Weidman, 25 home runs, 70 RBIs, 436 batting average with 14 stolen bases. Showed off the power and the speed. Ended up being first team all-conference. And he was robbed, in my book, for player of the year or freshman of the year. Didn't get either of those awards somehow. It was a contested field, but I think he deserved it. So he falls down 0-2 in the count after the swing and miss. Weidman's batting .300 this summer, just 7 games, 9 hits, a home run. It was that grand slam against Corvallis to really put the thing away. Mawini with the 0-2. Weidman gets a piece, fouls it back up against the screen. The West Lynn native, 5'11", 195. Worked out with the Houston Astros 8 days ago. Went down to Houston. Played at what was formerly Minute Maid Park. Said he had a fantastic time getting that experience. So an outside chance that this dude right here gets drafted in the upcoming MLB draft. The 0-2. Weidman, chopper, down the line on the third base side, out of play. Furuhata tosses it back to his starting pitcher. Daichi Furuhata from Japan. Spent the last 2 years at Southwest Oregon Community College and will now be going to Northwest Nazarene in Idaho. No balls, 2 strikes to Weidman with a runner on first. Long look by Mawini, back behind him. Nelson's got speed. He's going to stay put at first. Fastball misses down and away. Clocking in 86 from Mawini, who grew up in Cottonwood Heights, Utah, playing college ball in his home state, Utah Valley at the D1 level. 6'4", 225. Big guy comes down from the bump, swing and a miss. Strike number 3 to Weidman. Gets him with the slider. A lot of movement on that thing. Out number 1 of the bottom of the first. That's tough. Breaking off the knee of Weidman. Had to fend it away with 2 strikes. Can't catch a piece. 1 out for Martin Serrano. The big swing and switch hitter operating from the left side here. There goes Nelson to second. I think he's going to go 3. Ball gets away from Ramos behind the dish. Nelson going to be patient, stay put. Stolen base for him. That's number 14 of the summer. Tied for second in the West Coast League. He gets on base and he moves around. Obvel Ramos starting behind the dish for Yakima Valley. Was talking to their broadcaster, Harmon Johnson, before the game. He's a high-energy guy. Offense first. Saw a couple wild pitches. So we see a grounder right back up the middle. Gets through. Martin Serrano At least a single. Nelson advancing to the plate. He will score standing up. Martin Serrano, guy who's driven in now 20 runs on the summer. Top 5 in the West Coast League. Does this again for the Berries. He's driven in a 5th of the Berries' runs this summer. He ties the ball game up 1-1 here in the first. Grounder right back up the middle, hopped over the glove of Mawhinney on the mound, and snuck by at second base. RBI single for the future Ohio State Buckeye. Scored Nelson from second base. 1-1 is your score. If you're just joining us, West Coast League Game of the Week on Friday, June 19th, Game 1 of our series. Josh Mawhinney down 1-0 in the count against Tyler Dunning. And he will miss with a slider in the dirt. Dunning up 2-0. Second year in Salem for Mr. Dunning, coming up from Rancho Santa Margarita, California, in the greater Los Angeles area. Went to perennial powerhouse J. Sarah Catholic. Won a state championship with them. And just spent the spring at UCLA. One of the top teams in the country. There's a fastball, 87 miles per hour. Catches the lower half of the zone. 2 balls, 1 strike. Dunning wearing 40 on his back this summer. He was number 24 last year, and that's kind of a summer baseball thing. Numbers being passed around. You get what you get when you show up, and Dunning, check swing, he went around for sure. That evens the count at 2 apiece. Dunning's 6th start at shortstop for the Berries here in 2026. He's batting .211 with 4 hits, 3 RBIs. All came on the road trip against Walla Walla. 3 for 12 with 3 ribbies, 2 walks. 2-2 pitch. Popped way up into the air. I think it hit the plate. Dunning almost beat it out at first. I don't even know if we can call that a ground ball. Didn't spend any time on the ground. Acted like an infield pop-up, but it hit the plate. Came down in the shortstop hands. It's Derek Almeida who made the throw of the first. Martin Serrano slid into second safe. There it is. He had to wait for it. Dunning had a chance. Close play at first, but it's out number 2. Brings us to my player to watch, a guy with a lot of power on the left-hand side, Cale Barney. Just finished his high school career at Nolensville in Tennessee. Played 4 years for the Knights, led them to 3 district titles. And he will be taking his talents to Oregon State University down in Corvallis. A power here on the West Coast in the world of baseball. Slider misses inside at the ankles of Barney. He's 6'5", 200 pounds. Getting his 13th start of the summer. A lot of people have showed up for game 1 of this series. Yakima making the drive down. They hit some traffic. Took them a little over 5 hours to get here from Central Washington. 2-0 pitch. Misses below the zone. Barney's way up. Struggled to his standards to start the year. Made contact. He was popping a lot of things up. He finally straightened it out against Ridgefield. Single off the wall in dead center, and then the solo shot. As Mawhinney gets him with the fastball in the zone. Kept it going on the road trip. 10-run win against Corvallis, and then game 2, that comeback, 23-19. And there's some Beavers fans right there watching the future Beef. Takes a pitch inside for a walk on 5 pitches. Second walk of the inning from Mawhinney. Gives us runners on first and second. Serrano after his RBI single, and now Cale Barney. Yakima Valley, 9-9. They're 5-4 at home, 4-5 on the road. Josh Mawhinney Has 19 strikeouts this summer, 9 walks as Hudson Flora swings and misses. First pitch he's seen today, a 79-mile-per-hour slider that broke away from him. Flora, the Pleasanton, California native in the Bay Area. Got a handful of NorCal guys on the roster. The 0-1 pitch comes in, slider again, and it catches the zone. Puts Flora down 0-2 quickly. He just graduated from Foothill High School and will be headed to UC Santa Barbara in the fall. Catcher getting his 11th start of the summer for the Berries. Batting just over 206 hits. A triple. Just barely touches that 80-mile-per-hour slider. Right behind Flora is Jake Dodge, Big Hoss Cowboy, whatever you want to call him. It's probably fitting. He's a guy who comes through with runners in scoring position. Pippins probably don't want to see him this inning. It's a 1-1 score after both teams have tacked on a one here in the first. 0-2 from Mawhinney. Fastball. And the catcher, Ramos, almost fooled me. Started leaving for the dugout. Made me think that our home plate umpire, Derek Dunbar, had called it a strike, but he did not. That one stayed off the plate on the outside. Definitely outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, 2 runners on. The 1-2 pitch inside. Flora held up his swing, and they're going to ring him up. And I don't agree, but it's not my job. Rung up by the bases umpire, Perry Schofield. Strikeout. It's a nice pitch. Dirty again. The slider by Mawhinney gets him swinging, and that will do it for inning number 1. One more look at it. Flora close. I don't think he went around, but it doesn't matter. We're going to head to the top of the second after this break. Berries Baseball live on YouTube and the WCL live app.
Back wins. Are you all ready? Go! It's Honey Dijon going quick. Go! Honey Dijon's trying to catch Berry, so down goes sea-salt vinegar. Oh, Honey Dijon's coming back, so is Jalapeno. Oh, down goes Jalapeno. It's Honey Dijon's race to lose. Honey Dijon makes it. Oh, who's coming into second? It looks like the potato bag is completely broke on sea salt vinegar, and they made it past. Give it up for Kettle Chip Bag Race in our contestants, the best smelling factory in Salem.
Chip dust everywhere there, huh?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the WCL Game of the Week. Today's broadcast is brought to you by AOE Chiropractic, a fully mobile practice that will come to you in Salem, Portland, and throughout the Willamette Valley. Visit AOEchiropractic.com for a free 15-minute video or phone consultation. Both teams put runs on the board in the first. 1 for the Pippins, 1 for the Berries. A win tonight for Marion would even up the season series against Yakima Valley 2-2 all time. I mentioned 6 games for the Berries, 3 for the Pippins. Berries 8-10 on the summer, 5-4 here at home, 3-6 on the road. Currently sitting in 6th, but it's really tight in the WCL South. A lot of good teams in front of them. We've seen Ridgefield already here at home. On the road, they've played against Walla Walla, who's in 2nd, Yakima. A lot of time left in this summer. Nate Shakori will start us off with a breaking ball in the zone. Strike 1 against Ovel Ramos, the starting catcher who stands 6 feet tall and weighs 185 pounds. Out in front of the sweeper from Shakori. That's a pitch that he's worked on dating back to the start of the 2026 Willamette season. Gotten way better at it. And got Ramos chasing there. 0-2 from Shakori. Again, way out in front, but this time a lot better contact from Ramos to fend it off. Nate Shakori, 4th start. He's 0-1. 5 Ks, 3 walks. For Willamette, he started 11 games for the Bearcats and goes with the 0-2 that's flown out to center. Danny Weidman, I count about 9 steps to his right to make the catch. We've got one down here in the second. Danny Weidman playing center field again for the second summer in a row. Doing a great job. WCL All-Star in 2025. All West Coast League honorable mention to end the summer last year. Batted .312. There's a hefty swing and a miss from the designated hitter, number 40, Malachi Emery Henderson. The big fella from Linwood, Washington. Swings and misses again. Chasing after the breaking ball from Shikori, up in the count. Emery Henderson still looking for a home. He finished off his 2 years at Wenatchee Valley College up in Washington. Swings and misses for a third time, and that's caught by Flora. Strike number 3. I think it was the same pitch 3 consecutive times. 3 sliders from Shikori in the dirt. And Emery Henderson chased out from all 3 times. That's out number 2. Derek Almeida, soft grounder to second. Nelson snaps it up. Throw over to first to Jake Dodge. Is in time. That's 3 outs quickly, but here's those 3 pitches from Shikori. Slider. Emery Henderson over the top of it. Slider again. Emery Henderson over the top of it. How about one more time? Fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 3 times, and that's strike number 3. Great inning defensively for the Berries. We will head to the bottom of the second. WCL Game of the Week live on the WCL Live app and on YouTube. Friday, June 19th, and we've just passed the 7 p.m. threshold. First pitch, it's almost a half hour ago, and we are into the bottom of the second. Berries coming back up. Tie ball game 1-1, leading off the senior from Beaverton, Oregon, who went to Southridge High School. I call him Jake Dodge. He's 6 feet 5 inches, 225 pounds. Finished up his year at Metropolitan State University, Denver. Also looking for a new home. The former Lynn Benton Roadrunner. Offers at the first pitch from Mawinnie. That one in the dirt. Misses it. 0-1 count. Jake Dodge's 17th game of the summer. He's either played first. He's made a couple appearances on the mound as well. As he watches a slider miss outside, moves the count to 1-1. Jake Dodge batting .212, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs. 2 of those doubles came in that same game. Game 2, he hits a grounder to second base, which is brought in. And the out is made by Levi Correa. The Hawaiians starting at the 4 spot for the Pippins. It's the inning started off right for the Pippins defense. One out, nobody on for Matthew Major. We've already seen him make an impact defensively. Diving catch down the left field line. He's due up for the first time, batting in the 8th spot. Started all but 1 game this summer. Doing it with the glove as well. Lost the hat. Pippins were still able to score in that inning. Thought about it, checked his swing, but that one ended up in the zone. And here is that diving catch. Left his feet. We're lucky that we've got turf here at the ballpark now instead of the grass. He would have been covered in green. Swing and a miss from Major, and that's strike number 2. Major growing up in Troy, Ohio. Went to Pro 5 Baseball Academy his junior and senior years. Thought about it. I'm surprised. Perry Schofield, our bases umpire, says no, he did not. I think he went more around than Hudson Flora did in the first inning. We'll take it. Makeup call, we love it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out for Major. Played his freshman year at Tulane. Another guy looking for a new home. Popped up deep into the blue sky. Called off by the right fielder, who happens to be Luis Garcia. And we've got a quick 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. These two teams mirroring each other in both of these innings. Bottom of the order for the Berries. There's a lineup change right before the game. We're supposed to see Trenton Herzog start at third base and bat ninth. But instead, we are seeing Nolan Rowe, who's wearing number 36. Washington native. Spits on a fastball, clocking in at 90 miles per hour. That one's right down the middle of the zone. Nolan Rowe, going to be a sophomore at the University of Washington. Had a great experience in Seattle. He's from Poulsbo. Went to North Kitsap High School. Started a couple games behind the dish for the Berries. Came through with an RBI double in Game 2 of the Ridgefield Series, and he falls down 1-2 after the 79-mile-per-hour slider from Mawinnie. If you haven't been to the ballpark yet, you got to come out at least to try the food that we got. Our head of concessions, Frankie Pardo, has done a great job between years 1 and 2. It was good last year. It's even better now. Anything you want. And we've got a surprise coming tomorrow. Might get even a closer look at the brisket that I've been talking about for these last couple of weeks. Got to tune in for Game 2 of this series on Saturday. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Nolan Rowe. Mentioned only his 3rd game this summer. He's got a double, 2 RBIs, and a walk. 3-2 pitch from Mawinnie. Rowe offered at it. It was dropped by Ramos, who makes the tag. And that is a swinging strike number 3. Just as we saw the Berries shut down Yakima, 3 up, 3 down. The Pippins return the favor. We have no runs in the second. That keeps us at a 1-1 ball game. We will head to the top of the 3rd after this break. WCL Game of the Week live on YouTube and the WCL Live app coming back after this.
PTA people out here. It's Grayson, Rain, and Jocelyn. They are going to ride the trikes down, go around Berry and back. The first one back wins. You must go around Berry. Ready? Go! Quick lead is brought by Green. Green's going out there, but Blue's catching up. Red is just, Blue took a corner. Caught an edge. Green and Red are going around Berry. There's going to go no wrecks. Blue's coming in. No idea where they're doing it. All right, Berry's. Green's coming back. Green looks like they're going to win. They cut off Red. All right, give it up for Green. The winner of today's trike race put on by Capital Auto Group. No wrecks.
Another electric trike race in between innings. Member of the Karate for Kids group who performed pregame, ruthless on the paths to get the W. But here's a look at what's going on in the West Coast League across the Pacific Northwest on this Friday evening. Portland up 1-0 against Springfield. Corvallis 2-1 over Edmonton. A lot of close games. Kelowna beating down the Bend Elks out in the high desert 5-0. Victoria up 3-0 over the Port Angeles Lefties, who are right now floundering 4-14. Everybody else either tied or up 1. That Walla Walla Ridgefield series going to be really important for the first half standings. Ridgefield right now first, Walla Walla in second. Winning the first half clinches you a playoff spot, so really important. 0-1 count after the fastball from Shikori, swing and a miss. We've got our beer batter, Levi Correa, getting his 10th start of the summer for Yakima, playing second base. You can hear the beer chants from the crowd. They really want a Coors, the banquet beer. 0-2 pitch, popped out to left. Matthew Major Again, dealing with that sun behind us in the Minuteman press box, but he gets the job done for out number 1. Third fly ball hit to Major in this game already. Getting his work cut out for him, getting the steps in. Can always use that. Probably going to lose some poundage as well across the course of this summer. It's 75 degrees. It felt a lot hotter than that before we went on air. A little bit of cloud cover today. We've been blessed with beautiful weather throughout the entirety of this season thus far here at home in Salem. We are back to the top of the order. Tyson Miller led off. He fell down 0-2 in the count against Shikori, and then a line drive right back up the middle. Single into center field. Ended up scoring the 1 run of the ball game for Yakima. Here's the 2-0. Slider tried to come in through the back door. We said no. 3 balls, no strikes for Miller. Way ahead in the count. Came in batting .333 this summer. 17 hits in 16 games. And he has walked on 4 pitches to give Yakima a base runner in the 3rd. Tyson Miller from Gar High School down in Southern California. Going to California State University Bakersfield. Played 21 games for them in the spring during his freshman year. We've got a first pitch fastball that misses high to Daichi Furuhata. Coming to Yakima from Japan, part of that Japanese pipeline in the baseball world. I wish the San Francisco Giants could capitalize on some of that. Seems like any good player from across the pond finds their way into a Los Angeles Dodgers uniform, and it just makes me sick. Hard hit ball into the gap in left center is going to get down, roll back toward the travel for game sign. Matthew Major knocks it down, but Tyson Miller's coming around third, and he's going to score again. Touches the home plate. Double from Daichi Furuhata. Riving in a run to take the lead for the Pippins in the top of the 3rd. 95 off the bat. We've seen a lot of line drives from Yakima so far today. Getting around the fastball from Shikori. One out runner on second for Nick Velasquez, who's already driven in a run of his own in this game. And he's going to line one out to left field, making Matthew Major run to his right, and Furuhata will score easily. I told you, this Yakima offense is powerful when they've got the bats going, and they do so far tonight. 2 runs here in the top of the 3rd. They're up 3-1. Second RBI for Nick Velasquez. He's got 2 doubles. This dude is coming through in the 3 spot. But there's Daichi Furuhata. Both of these to the left side. Furuhata got around on it. And then Velasquez follows it up with a 96-mile-per-hour line drive to left field. 2 consecutive doubles. Here's Luis Garcia. Fly ball to center. Weidman's got to go back to the wall. He's going to bounce off the base of the fence. And another double for Yakima. And coming home to score is Nick Velasquez. My goodness. The Pippins. 3 consecutive doubles. They are all over Shikori right now. Here's Velasquez, opposite field, kind of off the end of his bat. Didn't really get all of it either. And then Garcia to dead center, off the fence, scoring another run. They're just trading spots. Home plate to second base. O'Neal tried it there. Caught floor on the backswing, hit him in the helmet. That's why we wear protective gear back there. Hopefully he's got the cup on as well. I made that mistake as a young baseball player. Didn't ever do it again. Only takes one. 0-1 pitch from Shikori. That one's hit hard. Gonna get down in right field. Base knock. They will hold up Garcia at third, so we won't see another RBI. We're going to cap it at 3 runs in a row. But the Pippins, 4 base hits here in the top of the 3rd. They're up 4-1. Really getting the bats going. They've got 6 hits already in this ballgame. Now was head coach Chris Crustangel at third base holding him up. Over at first is the guy they call Panch, Gunnar Ueda Pancheri. And we will see the first appearance of pitching coach Lindsey McCarger for the Berries, having a chat with his infield and his starting pitcher. A couple bodies moving around in the Berries bullpen. Really productive there by Martin Serrano, chucking a ball over the fence. I think that's a wiffle ball coming from Verespi Field. I believe that was Lucas Plenard out there with him. We saw Lucas Plenard close out Game 2 of the Walla Walla series. Got the win. Shikori is throwing 2 1/3, 42 pitches, 31 of them strikes. They've all been in the zone. That's been a problem because the Pippins have been all over it. Starts us off with a breaking ball that drops below the zone for ball 1 to Obvel Ramos, coming in with 12 RBIs. Pick off to first, not in time. Runners on the corners, 1 out for Yakima. 3 doubles and a single this inning. And there's one of the culprits, Luis Garcia at third. 1-0 from Shikori. Grounder to short. Dunning. Flip to second. The throw to first. In time. Good stretch by Dodge to get it. Double play. 6-4-3 to stop the bleeding. Only 3 runs cross for Yakima, but that puts them up 3. 4-1 as we head to the bottom of the third. Stick around, folks. We have a special guest coming up in the top of the fourth. Don't go anywhere. It's the WCL Game of the Week, live on YouTube in the WCL Live Act. Marion Berries Baseball coming right back.
The final touches together ahead of opening night, but as you can see, all brand new synthetic turf, and the real coup de grace, I would say, is all of our brand new seats that we've installed. So we'll have some hospitality decks in the corners as well by the bullpens, and of course our fun zone and our new inflatable wiffle ball field making its debut tomorrow night as well. We also purchased a new smoker for our new barbecue concession stand, so we'll have tri-tip sandwiches, brisket sandwiches, barbecue pulled pork as well, and expanding off of our award-winning Marion Berry barbecue sauce. We're going to be having our first fireworks night on the 3rd of July here at the ballpark, and then on July 17th, we're also going to be doing a drone show for all the fans. Check out our promo schedule. Every single night there's something different going on, something different and unique for families.
Bottom of the third inning at Chemeketa Baseball Field, home of the Marion Berries, in the summer of 2026 and beyond. 3 doubles and a single for the Pippins in the third inning. There's the double play to end it. Shikori gets out of the inning, surrendering just 3. 4-1 lead for Yakima on World Beat Celebration Night, presented by the World Beat Festival. Celebration of a bunch of different cultures from around the globe. We saw performances from Paradise of Samoa and Karate for Kids in pregame before we started here on the broadcast. Berries trying to even things up against the Yakima Valley Pippins, and there's an interesting connection between these two squads and this field that we'll talk about as the game goes along. Josh Mawhinney still on the bump. Pumps in a fastball on the inside part. Misses for ball 1. Follows that up with a fastball in the dirt. 2-0 count to Sawyer Nelson, second baseman wearing number 5. He walked to start the game, his 27th of the summer. Leads the WCL by a good margin. It's been fantastic as a leadoff man for the Berries. This is what he does. He gets ahead in the count and he stays there. 3 balls, no strikes. Nelson, the South Salem kid, going to be a freshman at Loyola Marymount. Another guy who's gotten some MLB looks. Worked out with the Astros and the Braves, and he's going to be trotting down to first. Free 90 for Sawyer Nelson. Walk number 28 of the summer. Good start for the Berries in the third. Down 3 runs. 8-10 record. Started the summer off 5-1. They're 3-9 since. That included a 6-game losing streak. They got back on track with 2 wins on the road trip over the week. They've played a bunch of games in a row as Danny Weidman takes a first pitch strike in the zone. He didn't like it. Oh, 1 from Mawhinney. Flown out to right field. That one's caught, and Sawyer Nelson jogs back to first base. Luis Garcia under it in the routine fly ball. Weidman heads back to the dugout 0 for 2. Yakima Valley Pippins, an expansion team here in the West Coast League, established back in 2013. First played games in the 2014 season, made the playoffs, first expansion team to do so. Mawhinney comes with the changeup. Catches the low outside corner of the zone for strike 1 against Martin Serrano, who's driven in the only run of the game for Marion. It was that single up the middle. He's got Nelson on first with 1 out. And there goes Sawyer to second, looking in. He's got to get down. Nabs the bag. Throw from Ramos not in time. It was a strike from Serrano. No balls, 2 strikes with a runner in scoring position. And this is where Serrano makes his money. 21 RBIs this summer. Leads the team. Puts him at 4th in the West Coast League. Also 4 home runs, which is top 3 in the conference. 0-2 pitch from Mawhinney. Fastball outside. Try to get him to chase. Nice 2-strike pitch. Martin Serrano alternating between starting behind the dish and as the designated hitter. He's the DH tonight. Going into his 3rd year of college baseball. Started Oregon State, then went to Iowa Western. Now would be headed to Columbus, Ohio, as he grounds one to the opposite side. Furuhara moves it on over to first for out number 2. Daichi Furuhara playing the hot corner. Takes the ground ball and does the work. 2 outs with Sawyer Nelson on second for Tyler Dunning after the ground out by Serrano off the end of his bat. Dunning in his lone plate appearance grounded out to the shortstop. Got 3 RBIs here in 2026. Mawhinney, the whirling dervish, nobody there. Nelson gently walks back to the bag, safe. The Pippins aren't the first example of baseball in Yakima Valley. They've got the community college, the Yaks, who've been a power in the NWAC for a long time. There's a slider in the zone. There's also some professional baseball in Yakima for a long time. If you've been listening to the broadcast this season and in the past, you know that this field here at Chemeketa was once home to a minor league team. Salem Senators, affiliated with the Dodgers, then the Salem Angels, obviously affiliated with the Angels, and finally back to the Salem Dodgers. That ended in 1989, and that team left the great city of Salem to Yakima. Turned into the Yakima Bears in 1990, and they played minor league baseball at the single-A level until 2012, affiliated with both the Dodgers, and then switched to the Diamondbacks in 2001. Swing and a miss by Tyler Dunning. That will end the bottom of the 3rd. 4-1 lead for Yakima as we head to the top of the 4th, and I urge everybody to stay right here after the break because we have a special guest coming on the broadcast. I'm really excited to talk to him. This is Berries Baseball live on YouTube and the WCL Live app. WCL Game of the Week. Taking a break.
vocal lessons or just coming in good for you, Leroy?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am super excited and privileged to bring in a guest to the broadcast. Here in the Minuteman Press Box, it is the West Coast League Commissioner, Rob Nair. Rob, you've been to this ballpark a couple of times last summer, and now for the second time this summer. First thing I got to ask you is how do you feel about Chemeketa Baseball Field right now?
Well, I'm sure most of your listeners, or a lot of them anyway, are aware of all the drama heading into last season with the stadium situation, and I can tell you, not only was I impressed from day one with how quickly everything came together and what a beautiful place it is, and then of course with the upgrades this year as well, but when I travel around the league, people bring it up. I don't have to say anything.
We've got a high fly ball that's caught by Cale Barney over in right field for out number 1. But yeah, I got to second that. This stadium is fantastic, and it was kind of a debacle getting into the season last year. 18 road games to start, but the Berries pushed through. They made the playoffs, 28-26 as an expansion team. You've been the head honcho here in the West Coast League since 2018, and there's just something about this Pacific Northwest baseball. Maybe it's the size, maybe it's the teams, maybe it's the cities, but tell me what makes the WCL the preeminent summer collegiate baseball league in the West.
Well, so many things. One, we have this amazing geographic footprint with teams in all these amazing cities and large towns. I mean, we have a range from markets like Walla Walla and Port Angeles to Edmonton and Portland and Victoria, British Columbia. It's an incredible thing.
We've got a grounder up the middle. Dunning comes in on it. The throw to first is in time. And they're going to get Almeida out for out number 2. Quickly, 2 outs.
I would argue that
Pippins.
that nobody can match our geography, the beauty of our ballparks and the scenery, and our weather. Just a tremendous place to watch baseball, to see baseball, just to experience the whole thing every summer.
Yeah, all the cities that you mentioned, so many different places. I mean, Edmonton way out there. I mean, they're a hop and a skip away up in Alberta, but Walla Walla, Portland, Salem, Springfield. I mean, just a bunch of places that bring a lot of different flavor to this league. And we're coming up on a pretty special part of the summer. We're nearing the midpoint. The WCL All-Star break will be on July 15th up in Victoria. And what can you tell us here in Salem and anybody who's viewing? What can you tell us about that event that's coming up?
We brought the All-Star game back a couple of years ago in Bellingham. It was there the last couple of seasons. Tremendous event. They did a great job. Bellingham's one of my favorite places in the whole world, so I just had a blast. One of my other favorite places, Victoria.
Yeah.
For anyone who's never been to Victoria, British Columbia, it's probably the most British city in America, so you get a completely different flavor. You're in Port Angeles, take the ferry across the...
We've got a chopper over to Nolan Rowe. He muffs it. And safe at first base is Levi Correa. And there's a base runner for the Pippins, and that's a good thing because we get to extend this conversation here. And you're right. I've never been across the border into Canada, but I really hope to go at some point. Go watch some baseball. Go see some WCL action because there's a lot of cool ballparks up there and cool teams. Victoria Harbor Cats, chiefly among them, and they are hosting the WCL All-Star break this year. I want to pivot just a little bit to you because you've got an interesting path. You've been a sports writer for a long time. You're from Kansas, went to the University of Kansas for a couple of years, and then you started working for the acclaimed baseball writer and one of the godfathers of sports analytics, Bill James. And what can you tell me about that experience working for him?
Well, it was a long time ago. I do have some vivid memories. The most amazing thing about working for Bill James is that I worked for Bill James. If you had asked me as a freshman in college, what's your dream job?
And we've got a pop fly into center field. Danny Weidman is going to make the catch. And Rob, if you're wanting to, we're going to ask you to stay right
bet.
here for
I'll stay as long as I can.
Yeah, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back for the bottom half of inning number 4. Berries down 4-1 against Yakima. Taking a break. WCL Game of the Week live on YouTube and the WCL Live app.
My favorite snack / meal would be probably Jersey Mike's, number 13, Mike's Way. It's the go-to, yeah.
What high school did you play baseball at?
My name's David Roberts, and I went to Liberty High School in Brentwood, California.
Who is your favorite pitcher in the MLB?
My favorite pitcher is Paul Skeens.
How fast do you throw?
The fastest I've thrown is 92.
What's your favorite MLB team?
My favorite MLB team is the San Diego Padres. Go Friars, baby.
And we are back for the bottom of the 4th inning. Berries up to bat, down 3, but I am back in the Minuteman press box with our WCL commissioner, Rob Nair. And Rob, right before the Berries ended that inning, you were talking about what it was like working for the legendary Bill James, and I just want to get you back to
Right.
that.
Well, if you had asked me as a freshman at the University of Kansas what my dream job was, it literally would have been work for Bill James. I had no idea how to do that. But 3 years later, I was at KU for 4 years, by the way, not 2. I got 2 years worth of classes probably. It was not a good situation for me. No, it wasn't the college's fault. It was my fault. But 3 years later, I was roofing houses and somehow lucked into this job with Bill.
I think we've got a hit by pitch there on my player to watch, Cale Barney, and advances him to first base. And that's just a dream come true. I mean,
it was an incredible stroke of luck. Bill did live not too far from where I was in Lawrence, Kansas, and we had a mutual friend, and so I found out he was looking to hire somebody, and somehow, for some reason, he hired me, and I was with Bill for 4 years, learned a ton. He allowed me to help him not only research but also write a few of his books. It was a great experience.
Yeah, I was going to ask you exactly what you did as we see Cale Barney trying to steal second base, and he will. Thought about third, but he's going to stay put. The throw from Opel Ramos ended up in center field. So the Berries, with no outs, have a runner on second for Hudson Flora.
I tell people that I did about everything you could do. I paid the bills. I filled up the bookshelves with Bill's library. I babysat his kids. I did a ton of research, go to the library and spend hours looking at microfilm, historical stuff, statistical stuff, and again, Bill let me draft some stories for his books too. So I did about everything you could do.
Yeah, so basically what I'm hearing is you're a baseball guy through and through. You're basically a life assistant for Bill James, who's another baseball guy. He bleeds it. And I think that led you into a career as a sports writer. But tell me, what made you want to go from writing for ESPN, Fox, SB Live to being a commissioner of a summer collegiate baseball league?
It's very kind of you to frame it as a choice. I had some fantastic years with ESPN and SB Nation and Fox Sports, and I had the chance to write 8 books over the years.
We're going to see another walk by Josh Minowu on the mound for advances to first. We got 2 runners on for the Berries. You're trying to make up that 3-run deficit against the Pippins, and you're in game 1, and that brings us to Jake Dodge at the plate. But back to you, Rob.
But the writing opportunities, at least the ones I wanted, just sort of started to peter out a little bit about 9 years ago, and I was again lot of luck when the WCL, they happened to be looking for a commissioner 8.5 years ago, and I was speaking at a banquet, somebody from the WCL happened to be in the audience and thought, maybe Rob might be a good fit. And a few months later, here I was.
And what about the WCL at that time, back in the 2017-18 range, really piqued your interest?
Honestly, I didn't know much about it. I had been so immersed in Major League Baseball, especially, and a little bit of minor league baseball too, because that was what I did for a living. And I'd been to one. Don't tell anybody this. I'd been to one WCL game when they hired me. I'd been to a Walla Walla Sweets game.
Yeah, we'll keep that between us.
Yeah, please do. A year or two before, had a great time. Look, I'm happy at a Little League game.
Yeah.
Sit me down in the stands and watching a baseball game. It doesn't matter who it is. But I had just been. My routine used to be basically watch Major League Baseball every single night, write about it, blog about it, whatever.
Jake Dodge really got a hold of that one on the inside part, pulled it well foul, but 102 off the bat. My goodness, Jake Dodge, no outs, 2 runners on for him. He's trying to come through and drive in some runs. But yeah, you're a guy who loves the game of baseball. I mean, it doesn't matter to you. You said Little League, right. WCL, Major League, anything. We could go to a Sandlot game 2 blocks away, and you'd probably have a good time. You'd probably bring a scorebook.
Absolutely. And I took a crash course in collegiate summer baseball and the West Coast League specifically. Talked to every owner. That first season, 2018, visited every ballpark, and you sort of start to soak it in and get a sense of it.
I know you probably can't say this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I mean, you've been to all the ballparks here in the WCL. Do you have any that are your favorites? Any specifically that you love to go to more than the others?
Not really. They all have their charms. And they all have different charms. That's the fun part of the travel. Everywhere is different. I love the old barn in Kamloops. That's fantastic. I love the energy in Portland. I love being just in the city, right in the middle of the city in Victoria, and a few other places. I have a vivid memory. My first season, dusk in Wenatchee.
Yeah.
Sitting down, you used to be able to sit right next to the left field line, which they don't allow anymore, but back then you could. And there wasn't a better place to be with the hills up behind the outfield.
And Dodge is rung up. He tosses his bat. He thought he drew ball number 4. He's not happy about it. Going to go back to the dugout for out number 1. That still leaves us with runners on first and second for Marion, and brings us to Matthew Major, who flew out to right in his first at-bat. But you're right, that central Washington area, it's a little bit slept on. Just in the region aspect, there are some beautiful views. Even Yakima, you got the hills in the background.
Well, you know what they call Yakima, right? The Palm Springs of Central Washington.
I did know that, and that was news to me, but I did find that out here in the last week. And is that a welcome comparison?
I haven't spent enough time in Palm Springs to say. Probably.
I'd probably take Yakima over it anyway. I mean, I'm a big Pacific Northwest guy, but tell me, we talked about it briefly, but just the differences that you see in this stadium from last year. What do you like about Chemeketa Baseball Field now compared to 2025?
Well, it was what made it great last year was knowing the story, knowing how far the Berries came over the course of a month and a half, 2 months.
Oh, yeah.
That brought its own energy. But you knew, or I knew, that it was just the shape of things to come.
We've got a wild pitch. Gets away from Ramos. Almost came into contact with Matthew Major in the right-hand batter's box, but allows both runners to advance. We've got Flora on second and Barney on third. It's a great position to be in for the Berries, down 3 with 1 out. But yeah, I mean, I spent so many hours. I didn't think I would ever hang up this many signs in my life, but I did. But it ended up being after those 18 road games to start the season. Coming in, we had 8 home games in a row. It was fantastic. The environment was great.
It was, and then you come in this year. I was here for the second game this season, and there's the new plaza behind the grandstand, which is just fantastic place to walk around and look at the merchandise and the various food and beverage options and the new seating. And guess what? It's going to get even better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the one thing that could probably use a revamping might be this press box. We see
no,
Matthew Major.
It's got so much charm.
Charm is one way to put it. You ended up making it up here to the top on that ladder. You're one of the few that get up here unscathed. That would be a nice thing to add.
I am going to continue arguing to the powers that be. Every stadium should have at least one quirk. And if you're going to keep a quirk here, it's got to be that ladder. Sorry. You have to work here, I know. But for everybody else, it's a great quirk.
The one way to get up to the Minuteman press box on the ladder. You know what? I like it. I like being a part of the quirk here at Chemeketa Baseball Field. You're absolutely right. This stadium's come a long way. Major off the end of his bat. That sneaks through in the 4-hole. Barney will score. Flora will hold up at third. RBI single for Matthew Major to score the second run of the game for Marion. We have a 2-run ball game now in the bottom of the 4th inning. Berries have some momentum on their sides with the runners on the corners and 1 out. Have you been impressed with any of the teams that you've seen more than others? Any super talented teams so far this summer?
I've seen the Raptors play a few times, and they've been outstanding. Obviously, you look at their record, and that shouldn't be any surprise.
Yeah, we saw it firsthand. I mean, they were here. They swept us. That's a dangerous order, and the pitching was fantastic.
Yes, they've got it. They're running on all cylinders right now.
First pitch to Nolan Rowe at the bottom of the order is a strike. No, it's actually outside, 88 miles per hour. Got ahead of myself. Pretty good to Nolan Rowe, who struck out swinging in his first at-bat, following up the Matthew Major RBI single to the right side. Yakima's got a pretty good order, too. I mean, we've seen it today. You're doing the book. As Nolan Rowe, liner, gets down in left center. Flora will score. Matthew Major got a beat on it. The hit and run allows him to advance all the way to third base, and Nolan Rowe comes through with his third RBI of the summer. 4-3 ball game. The Berries bats, after taking a little bit of a hiatus there in the second and third innings, they have come back, and I think we're going to see a pitching change. Out comes head coach Chris Crustangel, and he makes the signal out to the Pippins bullpen. That will do it for Josh Mawhinney, finishing it after 3 1/3. We're going to take a break here on the broadcast. Rob Nair, the West Coast League Commissioner, I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else that you want to say about the WCL, the direction we're going, before you sign off here?
You know, I should have a good answer to that question. If you let me think about it for 30 seconds, I will have a fantastic answer.
You know what?
Okay, not fantastic, but a decent answer.
You know what? How about we give you those 30 seconds? We'll take a break, and we'll let you say one more thing about the WCL when we come back after this break. This is the WCL Game of the Week, live on YouTube and the WCL Live app. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the bottom of the 4th. The Berries have put up 2 runs. They're down 4-3 against the Yakima Valley Pippins here in Game 1. And I'm again up in the press box with our commissioner, Rob Nair. And you got your 30 seconds to think. What's the direction the West Coast League is going in, and what do you have to say about it?
Well, direction-wise, we're always, as a league, we're always looking around the baseball world, at least our little part of it, and wondering if there's an underserved market, someplace that could support West Coast League baseball. With 16 teams, it's not easy to find some place that doesn't have baseball, especially given the markets that have minor league baseball. But there are some places out there that we keep looking at, and I don't know that we'll have 16 teams 2, 3, 4 years from now. We might have 18, might have 20. We'll see. But what we focus on more than anything is maintaining an outstanding experience for our players, who we always put them at the top of our list, and our fans. And I think we do a great job with the standards, the technology that our players have access to. a lot of effort into our website, our social media for fans who want to stay in touch. Got the WCL Live platform, which you've kindly mentioned, although fans can always come and just watch you guys on YouTube. But the WCL Live platform has every game, every night. So we just want to keep getting a little better every year.
And I like that you mentioned the WCL Live platform and Live app, because that's something here in the WCL that I think really separates it. You can watch any game across the league any night that you want. It's really awesome, and it's really unique.
And I can tell you one thing that does make it somewhat unique is that most of the leagues like ours, sure, you can watch the games. You've got to get a subscription and pay for it. And we've been very committed over the years to making sure that our live streamed games were free for everybody.
I think that's a really important thing to do, because, I mean, most of the fans that are watching are parents to these players who are coming across the country to play for these teams.
That's right.
And it should be free. It should be free, and it's awesome that you guys have made that a priority at the top. I mean, we're talking to the very top right here as we see a miss inside by the new pitcher for Yakima, wearing number 28, Bo Lloyd from Citrus College.
And that's a real testament to our teams, not to me. If the teams tomorrow say, Rob, we got to start charging people, I'll be all over it. I'll go find the best subscription live streaming service that we can find. But the mandate has been we've got to be free. So that's what I focused on, and I think it's a great thing for, you're right, the parents and the friends and the fans also.
We see a walk by Sora Nelson. That's his third of the game. This is just what he does. Loads the bases with one out here in the bottom of the fourth, and it brings us to Danny Weidman. I had a great time talking to you, Rob, our West Coast League commissioner, on the WCL Game of the Week. I appreciate you coming on. It's a privilege, and I hope to talk to you again sometime in the future.
Cole, it's been my pleasure, and I really appreciate you guys hosting the Game of the Week this week. It's been fun.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic environment. We've got bases loaded. It's a good game as well. First pitch from Bo Lloyd misses up and out of the zone to Danny Weidman. Bo Lloyd from Citrus College operated as a two-way player. Had 3 home runs and 16 RBIs in 2025 for Citrus. Appeared in 7 games on the bump, going 0-1 in 10 innings. Goes back to the curveball, and that one misses too. 4-3 lead for Yakima after those 3 runs in the top of the third. Didn't get anything done in the fourth to add to it. Finally, the Berries bats have come back to life. I really want to thank our commissioner, Rob Nair, again for taking the time, climbing up the ladder here in the Minuteman press box, being safe and talking to us. It's a great idea. WCL Game of the Week, highlighting a specific broadcast and team each week on Friday. And we are lucky enough to host the very first one here at Chemeketa Baseball Field, taking on the Yakima Valley Pippins, battled in the WCL South Division. 3 balls, no strikes to Danny Weidman. A walk would score a run. Here's the 3-0 from Lloyd. Inside, and that does the job. RBI walk for Mr. Weidman. And we've got a tie ball game. Lloyd lets him slip away. The 6'1", 215-pounder from Apple Valley, California, operating on the right side, will be facing off against Martin Serrano. With 1 out, bases juiced. Serrano has a grand slam to his name already this summer. You can remember all the way back to Game 2 of the Port Angeles series. One of the 2 hits that the Berries had to score 7 runs and win the game. And he will take a fastball right down Broadway to start down 0-1. Serrano, the Pocatello, Idaho native. One of the greatest careers in Pocatello high school history. A state championship game MVP his junior season. Batted .480 that year. All-state consecutively. There's a wild pitch. Gets away from Ramos. Advancing home is Nolan Rowe to score. The Berries got a lead here in the bottom of the 4th. 5-4 is the score, bottom of the 4th inning. getting away from Yakima Valley. Still got one out. It's a 1-1 count to Serrano. Weidman advances to second. Sawyer Nelson to third. 2 consecutive walks this inning. Goes with another one. 3 total walks and a hit by pitch. It's been some Pippins miscues on the bump to go along with 2 RBI singles by Matthew Major and Nolan Rowe. Serrano has worked his way to a 2-ball, 1-strike count. 1 for 2 with an RBI single up the middle in the first inning. 2-1 from Lloyd. Chopper down the first baseline. Drops foul. Would have been a tough play to make for the Pippins first baseman, Nick Velasquez, anyway. I appreciate you, Panda Apples. It was very informative. Rob Nayer's a guy with a lot of baseball knowledge. Had the opportunity to work with the great Bill James. If you know anything about him, really smart guy. Wrote a lot of popular baseball books going back almost 50 years. As we see another ground ball foul by Serrano. I think the WCL is going in the right direction. We've got 16 teams right now, but I wouldn't be surprised in the next couple of years if that balloons to 18 or 20. League trending in the right direction. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Martin Serrano, the designated hitter. And here comes Lloyd. Payoff pitch. Fouled away again by Serrano, doing the Bee Gees proud. Staying alive. If you're just coming in, WCL Game of the Week on this Friday evening. We've just crossed the 8 p.m. threshold. Pippins wearing the green tops, green hats. Berries in the all whites. Game 1 of the series. We'll be here tomorrow and Sunday. 2-2 count to Serrano. Here comes Lloyd. Swing and a miss. Got him chasing with the curveball in the dirt. Nice job by Lloyd to bounce back and get out number 2 here in this inning. But he's not in the clear yet. Tyler Dunning will be up in the right-hand batter's box. He's 0 for 2 today. Ground out to short. A swinging strikeout. But he's got 2 runners in scoring position. That's Weidman and Nelson, both with some speed. First pitch to Dunning. He will take it up and in at the hands for ball 1. 86 miles per hour out of the hand of Bo Lloyd. There's a great look at the TrackMan on your screen. Marion has punched through 4 runs here in the bottom of the 4th to take a 1-run lead. One offering from Lloyd. Drops down into the zone to even the count. World Beat Celebration Night here at the ballpark, presented by the World Beat Festival. That will take place June 28th and 29th here in Salem. The 27th annual World Beat Festival, celebrating a bunch of different cultures. This year it's Pacific Islanders. That's the focus. Some chin music to Tyler Dunning. Shakes his head. Didn't like that pitch. I can see why. 2 balls, 1 strike. Dunning ahead in the count. Had the opportunity to sit behind Rock Chalowski at UCLA, playing shortstop this year. He was probably going to be the number 1 pick in the MLB draft. And Dunning offers at a slider low, pops it out of play over in the direction of Varespi Field, down on the right field side. There's a great look at the Berries boys right below us in the Minuteman press box. They are at every home game. They're ringing the cowbells. If you ever get annoyed, just remember these guys are the Berries' #1 fans. Deuces are wild. And here comes Lloyd. Swing and a miss by Dunning. Drop third. Ramos tried for the tag, didn't get it, but the throw to first is in time. Strike number 3 to Tyler Dunning ends the inning, but it was the Berries coming through with 4 runs. Matthew Major single through the right side to score a run. And then Nolan Rowe right after that, single to left field. Second RBI of the inning. They've punched across two more. There was a wild pitch from Bo Lloyd, the relief pitcher, that allowed another run to score. Berries capitalizing on errors, making some runs of their own. They're up 5-4. We'll head to the top of the fifth after this break. Berries baseball live on YouTube and the WCL live app.
1-0. It's 1-1. Oh, that's a point over there. Oh, it's a point over there. It's a tie game. Welcome to soccer, everybody. It's a tie tortilla jam.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to join us for the 2026 Marion Berries baseball season, you can get a free reserve ticket using code BerriesLive at MarionBerriesBaseball.com. You could have joined one of the 1,271 fans who showed up for Game 1 of this series on World Beat Celebration Night. Use that code on your screen for a free reserve seating ticket. Nate Shikori still on the bump for the Berries, up 5-4 in the top of the fifth. Facing off against Daichi Furuhara. Pumps in a strike to move the count to 3-1. The 3-2 pitch grounded to the 6-hole. Tyler Dunning the backhand and the throw to first. That's in time. Jake Dodge. Big frame is useful over there at first base. He makes the catch for out number 1. I want to take one more opportunity to thank Commissioner Rob Nair for taking the time to talk to us here in the Minuteman press box, one of the quirkiest places in the West Coast League. And now it's Nick Velasquez, who's 2 for 2, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs. Again, if you're tuning into the Tyler Dunning Show, this is what he brings. Rock steady shortstop play. A great glove and a good arm. Jake Dodge, really nice job keeping the big toe on the bag. And we've got a ball on the board to Velasquez. Makes it 2-0. And then the fastball outside from Shikori. It's 3 balls, no strikes. Velasquez from Redlands, California. Graduate of Arlington High School, playing his college ball down at Citrus College in Southern California. Played 44 games for them in the spring. Takes a fastball in the zone. 3-1 count. Velasquez batting .304 with 41 hits. Had 9 homers and 26 RBIs at Citrus, 14 stolen bases. 3-1 offered at, fouled back up toward us. We got a full count now with 1 out, nobody on. Nate Shikori sticking around. This is about where he goes. We're going to use all those 3 starts as a reference point. 3-2 pitch. That's up and away to walk Velasquez. Make sure you stick around through the bottom of the fifth into the top of the sixth, because we're going to have another special guest coming up on the broadcast. Have to do it. It's WCL Game of the Week. Game 1 of the series. Yakima coming down from Central Washington as we see a swing and a miss from Luis Garcia. Garcia 1 for 2. He was a part of that string of 3 consecutive RBI doubles back in the third. Shikori's pickoff attempt unsuccessful. Garcia 1 for 2 with that double to center field off the wall. Coming to Yakima Valley by way of Harlem, New York. And playing his college ball at Western Oklahoma State. He's going into his sophomore season. 6'2", 215. That's the measurements. The 1-1 pitch off the end of the bat. Sneaks right by the first base coach. Gunnarueda Pancheri, and they call him Panch. This is not Coach Panch's first rodeo in Yakima. Also the associate head coach with Crust Angel at Yakima Valley College. Panch is widely regarded as one of the top hitting instructors in the Pacific Northwest. The 2-2 swung on and missed. The right number 3. And Shikori punches out Garcia to put 2 down here in the top of the 5th inning. Two outs, runner on first for the Pippins, down 1. And it's Jay O'Neill. Scratch that, reverse it. O'Neill, the center fielder, has played 3 years of college ball, going back for his senior season at Georgia Gwinnett College. And he's from Federal Way. Stolen base attempt by Velasquez. And he is in there. Some thievery by the Pippins to put a runner in scoring position. He's there for O'Neill. He's playing his 11th game this summer, batting .256. 11 hits, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs coming into today. Played 3 games against the Berries back in that away series. Was 3 for 13 with a double. 1 ball, 1 strike to O'Neill, who for Georgia Gwinnett in 2026 played 57 games and batted .359. Was all over the place. 10 home runs, 49 runs batted in, 28 stolen bases, doing it with power and with speed. First team all-conference selection. Left field Gold Glove Award. Spent 2 years at Yakima Valley Community College prior to transferring to Georgia Gwinnett. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Here comes Shikori. Grounder to second. Nelson. Routine play is made. And that gets Marion out of the inning. No runs given up to hold on to that 1-run lead, 5-4. This is Marion Berries baseball live on YouTube and the WCL live app. WCL Game of the Week. Taking a break. Coming right back. We are back at Chemeketa Baseball Field, home of the Marion Berries here in the summer of 2026 and beyond. Going into the bottom of the 5th inning, and here's how we got there. 5-4 lead for Marion Yakima started off early and often, had the bats going. 4 extra base hits, 3 of them coming in that 3rd inning, 3 doubles in a row. But Nate Shikori righted the ship. He's pitched 5 innings, giving up those 4 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. It's a couple 3-up, 3-down innings. The leadoff batters for the Pippins, 3 for 4. Marion just 1 for 5. It's really surprising. But it's a 1-run lead for Marion. Capitalized off the Pippins miscues on the mound earlier in this game. Scored 4 runs last time they were up. A lot of productiveness out in the Berries bullpen. Rest and relaxation. It's been a long trip. Last time they had a day off was Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, last Tuesday. They've been playing a lot of baseball. We've got a new pitcher on the bump for the Pippins. That is Sebastian Fry, wearing number 2. From Las Vegas, Nevada. Sebastian Fry, 4th appearance this summer. He's got a 7.36 ERA as he misses outside with a fastball, 85 miles per hour. 3 2/3 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's given up 3 earned runs and 2 hits. 1-0. Again outside, same spot to Cale Barney. Who, if you're just going by at-bats, hasn't appeared in this game. 2 plate appearances, though. He's been walked and hit by pitch. Finds himself up in a 2-0 count. Make it 3-0. 3 fastballs right around 85 miles per hour, all of them outside. Fry with the 3-0. He goes back to that outside pitch. Hasn't worked. Walk on 4 balls. But Cale Barney was my player to watch for tonight. Got the bat going last time we were here last Sunday against Ridgefield. He was 2 for 4 with a single and a solo home run. There's that homer. 400 off the bat. Distance-wise, not miles per hour. We wouldn't even see it. Had 3 doubles in the Game 2 win over Walla Walla back on Wednesday. And he's been on base 3 times tonight. So we see a fly ball down the right field line toward the corner. It's going to one-hop the fence out of play. Leadoff base runner for the Berries, trying to extend their lead. Started the season 5-1, played those first 2 3-game series here at home. Beat Port Angeles 2-1 and then swept the Bend Elks. And everything was looking up. And it went downhill from there. So we see a sacrifice bunt right back to the pitcher. Almost had an opportunity to go to second with it if he wanted to, but they're going to elect to get the out at first base. Hudson Flora does his job, advances Barney into scoring position. 1 out runner on second for Jake Dodge. Wasn't happy the last time we saw him at the plate. Thought he earned a walk on the full count pitch, but it was called strike 3. Don't want to get on his bad side. Jake Dodge, 6'5", 225. Playing first base, pitching, doing a little bit of both for the Berries. Takes a first pitch fastball in the zone. 0-1 count. Jake Dodge went to Southridge High School in Beaverton. He was a first-team All-Metro League utility player as a senior, as well as being a second-team pitcher and second-team outfielder, all in the same year. Told you he's versatile. Does it in a lot of different ways. Finds himself in a 1-1 count. Not only did he play baseball, he was also a basketball player, and I'm going to just guess that he was probably playing down in the low post, but I could be wrong. The 1-1 fastball misses outside. And that's kind of where the magnet's been for Sebastian Fry thus far. Dodge started his collegiate career at UC Santa Barbara. He redshirted there as a freshman and spent 2 years down in Albany, Oregon for Lynn Benton Community College, the Roadrunners. Fouls one back out of play over toward the parking lot. 2-2 count, 1 out. After 2 years at LBCC, Dodge transferred to MSU Denver, where he played 17 games this spring, going 3 for 20 with a homer, 2 RBI. Two-two, swung on and missed. They're trying for the double play, but safe at third is Barney. That's a great jump by him to steal third. Another strikeout for Dodge gives us 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Some high heat from Fry. And Dodge going with the tomahawk action, didn't work. But Barney steals third base. 2 outs for Matthew Major. He's already come through once with an RBI single last time we saw him. Swung on and missed by Major. Counts 0-1. Major playing at Tulane in the spring, looking for a new home. Really talented player, great athlete. We saw him make the diving play in left earlier in this game. Didn't really like that pitch, but it dropped down into the zone. So he's down 0-2 quickly. Pitch, payoff. Tried for the curveball, did Fry, but it misses up and in. 1-2 count to Major. Right behind him is another guy who's come through, Nolan Rowe, has an RBI single to his name. That one came in the 4th inning as well. 1-2 pitch, bounces, kept in front by Ramos. So Cale Barney will stay put on third. Bottom of the 5th inning, we're going to go to the top of the 6th following the culmination of this one. And we're going to have another special guest on the broadcast, so you better stick around. WCL Game of the Week. Deuces are wild. Here comes Fry. Major took it. Ramos leaving again, making a habit of it. That's the 2nd time he's done it. Definitely close. Slider in the outside corner just misses. It's a full count. Ramos voicing his displeasure. Painted the white, opposite of Major. He nods his head. He knows he earned another pitch. Full count. 2 outs, runner on third. Berries up 1. Here comes Fry. Bounces to the plate. That's a walk well earned by Matthew Major. Keeps this inning alive. Runners on the corners now for Marion. On World Beat Celebration Night. Game number 1 of the series. This is the 4th time Yakima and Marion have played this summer. 10th time in the Berries' short history. They hold the all-time series lead 6-3. Now 2 outs for Nolan Rowe. 1 for 2 with an RBI. Going back for his 2nd year at the University of Washington. Rowe playing for the team that he rooted for growing up. Talked to him about it after one of those losses to the Ridgefield Raptors. Says he's super thankful. His mom went to UW. So he grew up rooting for him. Dream come true. Fastball at the feet of Rowe. He goes up 2-0. Rowe believes that he's set up pretty well to be the starting catcher for the Huskies next year. He's got to come through this summer, get better. Had the opportunity to get bigger and stronger while riding the pine for the Huskies in the spring. There was a lot of older players that are out the door now. And he'll take that one off the lower part of his back. Ouch. 390 the hard way. Loads the bases for the Berries. We are juiced here in the bottom of the 5th. What can Sawyer Nelson do? This guy's been a one-outcome guy this summer, and that one outcome is a base on balls. 3 of them tonight in the 3 plate appearances that he's had. 29 walks in the summer. First time facing off against Fry. Spits on a high fastball. That one catches the high outside corner. 86 out of the hand of Fry. 5'11", 185 pounds. And there's Nelson, liner into right, gets down in front of Garcia. Coming home to score is Barney. The second one is Matthew Major. He slides in safe. 2 RBI single for Sawyer Nelson, coming through with 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Berries extend their lead 7-4. Can't throw a good pitch by Sawyer Nelson. He's either going to fend it off or he's going to do that right there. Frozen rope to right field. Scored 2 runs, moved Nolan Rowe to third. And what are we going to have here? I think we're going to have another pitching change out of the dugout. Comes head coach Chris Crustangel, and he is making another change. That does it for Sebastian Fry. 2/3 of an inning for him. Gave up those 2 runs. Gave up a hit as well, and we'll take a break on the broadcast. And while you guys are waiting to come back, Legends of the West Coast League will play.
Playing at that field, getting some fans. I think that was probably the most fans I played in front of at that time. We ended up winning it all, and then I think a few teams after that kept winning it, and just shows that they have a great staff.
Brooks Lee played a summer with the Knights prior to his freshman year at Cal Poly. He was a wizard at shortstop. I mean, we were like, wow, this guy is special. You know, switch hitter, hit with power. I mean, he was an absolute dude. We kind of knew that coming in. His dad is one of the best coaches in America, Larry Lee.
Are you excited to play for your dad next year at Cal Poly?
Very excited. I can't wait. It's always been a dream of mine to play for my dad.
I try to send my best players to play for Brooke. I've known Dan for probably a decade and a half. They treat him well. It's a very structured program. His managing skills, I mean, it's early work, it's day after day, and they all come back better. You know, they inserted Brooks out of high school, and he played every day at shortstop, and a lot of Brooks' success at a young age coming into Cal Poly, he really benefited from it.
When you're around the game at that level for as long as he has been, you know, you pick things up, and it's only his 2nd year in the league. For him to be so comfortable and do what he does, you know, he's a special player.
I missed a sign while we were practicing during BP, and so he made the whole team run to center field and back, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to let that happen again. That was, I think, a pivotal moment. It's also different when it's not your dad, too. But, I mean, I could treat him like a father figure, honestly. He was a great mentor for me and still is. And I really needed that coming out of high school.
I've gotten to see the West Coast League over the years, and they've just grown and grown. And a lot of the coaches that are coaching summer ball are really qualified, and they do a real good job. And it's one of the better summer baseball leagues in the country.
I joke around, I say he's the little brother I never wanted. Kind of got a little glimpse of it on field yesterday when he tried to call me off that pop fly, and I gave it to him a little bit. But great clubhouse guy, great to have around, and excited to be his teammate.
West Coast League game of the week. It's always a great idea to go back and look at what's been in the past. We saw a lot of Corvallis Knights. Obviously the dominant team over the first 20 years in the WCL. 11 championships to their name. Haven't won in a couple of years. Marion Berries trying to make their way to the mountaintop, and here comes number 19, Wyatt Robinson, on the bump for the Pippins, getting his 3rd appearance this summer. He's thrown just 1 2/3 innings, giving up a hit, 2 earned runs, has 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. That leaves him with a 10.80 ERA. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, with Danny Weidman at the plate for the Berries. There goes Nelson, trying to steal second. The pump fake by Ramos behind the dish. Doesn't fool anybody. Now 2 runners in scoring position for Weidman. He's got an RBI, but it was off a walk in the 4th. Oh, 1 count. And here comes Robinson. Straight ball gets away from Ramos beneath his glove, and Nolan Rowe comes home to score. That's the third run of this inning, and a 4-run lead for Marion. They've done it in a bunch of ways, driving him in, getting walked, and wild pitches as well. Second run to come home because of a ball that's gotten away from Ramos behind the plate. So one less guy out there for Danny Weidman. That's Sawyer Nelson on third. Still 2 outs. The 1-1 pitch. Grounder to second. Snapped up and thrown on over to first. Correa to Velasquez. 4-3 will end the inning. The Berries keep it rolling. That's 7 runs in the last 2. 4 in the fourth, 3 in the fifth. We'll head to the top of the 6th. Berries up 8-4, and we will have a special guest when we come back. Berries baseball live on YouTube in the WCL live app.
Questions tonight. But Laura said she knows ag. She went to OSU. Question number 1. Which of the following is considered a true berry by botanists? A raspberry, a banana, or a strawberry? A, B, or C? Banana is correct. You didn't believe him, but they were right. That one guy, he believes in his banana facts. Next up, true or false, strawberries become sweeter after they are picked. True or false, strawberries become sweeter after they picked. You all say true, and you misled Laura. It's false. And number 3, thornless blackberry plants exist. True or false? That one is true. You guess true. Everything exists if you believe enough. We'd like to thank the Berry Commission and Laura for trivia tonight.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Top of the 6th here in the Minuteman Press Box, and I have a special guest with me. This is the broadcaster for the Yakima Valley Pippins, Harmon Johnson. Harmon, it's great to have you in here, man.
Good to finally be in the booth with you, Cole. I've seen you do some work here over last year and never got a chance to hang out with you, but you know what better way to do it than on a Friday night here in the West Coast League?
Exactly, on the WCL Game of the Week, first time in the West Coast League history that we're going to have that, and we're showing off the ballpark here. Man, you've been stuck out there on the roof last year, coming back for year number 2. But the first thing that I got to ask you while we have you in here for whatever amount of time that we do, I mean, you're a guy from Nebraska. You're going to the University of Nebraska. You're a Cornhusker through and through. And I have to take you back as we see a ground ball to short. Coming up on it is Tyler Dunning. Makes the throw on the run for out number 1 here in the 6th. I have to ask you, if you go back to the 2011, 2012 range, if you had to go back and retroactively keep Nebraska in the Big 12, would you do it?
Being a student at Nebraska, no, because the Big 10 resources are amazing. Being a sports fan at Nebraska, if you say football, then you don't move them, or you do move them, keep them in the Big 12. If you're everybody else, you stay in the Big 10. I really think the Big 10 has been a very competitive conference for all the other sports. It seems that football just hasn't quite caught up yet.
And that's the problem with Nebraska being so football through and through. I mean, one of the powers in the 90s, just one of the blue blood programs, and it's really not been there for the. I mean, it's kind of tough because you liked those Nebraska teams with Tom Osborne, Lawrence Phillips in the 90s, and it just hasn't been there. But you're right. I mean, men's basketball had one of their best seasons ever this year. I mean, obviously, women's volleyball has been fantastic. They're a perennial power. Yeah, I mean, that's the right answer.
It's been cool to see the rise of some of the sports that haven't had maybe the love win-loss-wise that they haven't. I mean, obviously, volleyball's been the big thing for forever. I mean, I have so much respect for John Cook, and I got to meet him personally covering those volleyball games. No way his best friend, but, you know, a nice passing hello when you're in the hallways. And the basketball team was also a fun story to cover because I actually had a broadcasting class with Sam Hoiberg, who was one of our seniors on the squad, son of the head coach.
Wow.
And when I got to go cover the men's tournament down in Oklahoma City and see the first 2 wins in school history at the men's tournament, that was really cool to be in the locker room for media availability and say hi to Sam. So
that's awesome. I mean, you got Fred Hoiberg's son, Sam Hoiberg, as we see a walk here by Malachi Emery Henderson. First time seeing him on base tonight. Top of the 6th, still 1 out. And coming up is Derek Almeida. But yeah, those 2 wins, and it brought them to a Sweet 16 appearance against Iowa, if I remember correctly.
Yes,
battle
unfortunately,
of the Corn.
had to have Iowa again for the 3rd time.
And who do you think wins that Battle of the Corn? Is there a state? Do you hold pride knowing that you've got your top 3 in the country in corn?
Of course. Iowa has bad corn. I'll say that publicly on air here.
Iowa's got bad corn. You heard it here first. Marion Berries live stream in the WCL Live app, WCL Game of the Week. Harmon Johnson, our guest, the Yakima Valley Pippins broadcaster. But we're going to pivot to some baseball as we see a check swing by Derek Almeida. Did he go? They say no, he did not. Notice our base umpire, Perry Schofield. That will be ball number 2. But what can you tell us about these Yakima Valley Pippins coming in with a 500 record, 9-9? You've already beat us in a series. What's the goal this year for you guys? That pop-up goes out of play for strike 1.
I'll let you call that there. The goal coming in, we have new ownership this year, locally owned for the first time in the Pippins franchise history. And it's been awesome to see kind of the fan engagement has ramped up. That's around the ballpark, not necessarily the on-field product. Coming into this year, we wanted to compete for a first-half title, and the 9-9 record making it hard to do that right now, but still in the mix for that wild card. As you know, being a playoff team last year, you guys in your first season, if you could remain in the top 3 to 4, 5 in the division record-wise, you're going to have a chance. The Pippins haven't been to the playoffs since 2022, so we're really trying to make it back after a hiatus.
I mean, you guys have a good squad as we see a soft fly ball bounce up off the screen by Almeida. It's a 2-2 count. We've got Lucas Plenert on the bump for the Berries, coming in and relieving the starter, Nate Shikori, guy who just spent the last 2 years at George Fox. Has been the main closer for the Berries this year. He's coming a little earlier than we've seen. But yeah, Yakima didn't make the playoffs last year, but we've seen, just use the Berries as evidence as Plenert rings up Almeida. Fastball, 87 miles per hour, low inside corner. Gets him looking for out number 2. People are going to forget because we played 18 games on the road, and we didn't really get to watch it here on this stream. We started out the season kind of sputtering, I would say. We're 12-15 in the first half, and we went on a run to end it, 16-11, and made it to the playoffs. But you're right, everybody's in the mix from the start.
Yeah, I can't imagine the start to the franchise you guys had like last year being on the road so much. You guys are probably just itching to be back here,
Absolutely, and there's the look at the fastball that catches the lower part of the zone by Plenert. Nice pitch, great frame by Flora to get out number 2. Yeah, 18 games on the road. It's wild. I can't even imagine it for those guys as we see a soft fly ball. Back to get it is Sawyer Nelson, who makes the grab for out number 3. And Harmon, we're going to take a break here on the broadcast, but if you want to stick around for the bottom half of inning number 6, you are more than welcome.
My
welcome.
listeners are over there listening to us, so of course I'll stick around.
Fantastic. We love it. We're going to take a break. Cole Weber with you. Head to the bottom of the 6th. Berries up for WCL Game of the Week. Marion Berries Baseball live on YouTube and the WCL Live app. And we are back for the bottom of the 6th inning here at Chemeketa Baseball Fields. And here's a quick look at what's going on across the WCL tonight. Portland with a 4-run lead over the Springfield Drifters, who sit in last place in the WCL South. Good game in Corvallis. Riverhawks and Knights, 1-run game. Corvallis with the lead. Wenatchee's putting it on Nanaimo. Those are 2 top 3 teams in the North Division. Apple Sox up 15 runs. Bellingham 7-1 over Kamloops. Tie ball game, Walla Walla and Ridgefield, and that's a really important series. Kelowna 13-1 over Bend, and Victoria 5-1 over Port Angeles. But Harmon Johnson, the Yakima Valley Pippins broadcaster, is back with me in the box. And you guys have seen Ridgefield once. You haven't seen Walla Walla yet. What can you tell me about that Ridgefield team? They came here. They swept us. They really put it on us.
Well,
what did you think of them?
We saw Walla Walla opening weekend, actually, Cole.
Oh, you did? Okay.
They were our home opener, opening day. Ridgefield, though, that's a squad. That is a real squad. And they took the first 2 games from us. I think they had an off night just offensively on game 3. We won that game 13-1. But they have a couple of guys that I think are draft worthy. I think they have a couple of guys that are really going to make some noise. The Hearn kid for Ridgefield obviously doing some good things because they've got that squad up at the top of the division, 13-5. That's impressive.
They're super impressive, and I was talking to their assistant coach, Nick Allen, back when they swept us last weekend, and he said it's such an interesting situation for them. Same ownership as Cowlitz. That team falls. It's defunct. So you kind of have, you were used to splitting those players up between 2 squads, and now they're all in the same roster, and they've got a bunch of bats. You mentioned Isaiah Hearn. I mean, we saw him with that 50% swing, 410-foot home run over the right field scoreboard last weekend. Yeah, that's a guy who could go in the draft. That order is scary. So we see strike number 3. Martin Serrano leading off the inning. Watches a 90-mile-per-hour fastball go by from Wyatt Robinson, the Olympic College kid, to get out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
That's a good pitch by Wyatt. He's had some up-and-down type outings, and so to see him respond, he's got electric stuff. Fastball sits at around 92, so to see him around the zone tonight, that's really encouraging for me.
Fastball's really firm, really straight, and got Serrano right there on the low outside corner. Nice spot as well. And he goes with the curve there, coming in at 71. Didn't break enough, stays up and out of the zone to Tyler Dunning, who struck out in his last 2 at-bats. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Would love to see him get the bat going. He plays such a good shortstop. This is a guy playing at UCLA, and it's so weird to think UCLA and the Big Ten playing in the same conference as Nebraska, but that's the world that we live in now.
Yeah, welcome to my life, trying to adjust to the late-night games. I remember circling on my calendar, going back to basketball, when the guys were out in UCLA, in Westwood, playing against the Bruins. That's a 10 o'clock Central Time start, 8 o'clock start time here on the Pacific Time Zone. But I was actually in Indianapolis for the women's Big Ten basketball tournament, so
which
it was
was
an
Eastern time.
11 o'clock start time for that game.
And isn't that wild how it changes as we see a fly ball well out of play over toward Varespi Field to the right side. 2 balls, 1 strike. Welcome back inside the Minuteman press box, everybody. Harmon Johnson wearing the Pippins cap. It's a nice color green. Cole Weber with you, voice of the Berries. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. But you're right. I mean, Indiana being the East Coast time, going over the border from Chicago, it's really strange. And I want to ask you, what's weirder to you? And it's probably the latter, but having Rutgers in the conference and then having UCLA, Oregon, Washington, USC. What's the weirder one for you? You've had Rutgers for a lot longer time.
Yeah, Rutgers has been the one that's been in the conference ever since I've been a Big Ten fan.
Yeah.
But the Scarlet Knights trip out there to New Jersey, it's just, that's a long trip in and of itself, because for all of our teams at least, you lose an hour going out to play in Rutgers, whereas you gain a couple hours going to the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you were to ask the teams, they'd much rather see Rutgers drop away and keep the West Coast side. But Rutgers has been one of those teams that has just been around for forever, it feels like, in the Big Ten.
It does. It feels like a long time as Tyler Dunning walks. Thought he walked the pitch before, but it caught the bottom of the zone. That gives the Berries a base runner here in the bottom of the 6th. But you're right, Rutgers, they never felt like a Big Ten school to me, and that's probably the problem. They always felt more Big East, ACC-ish, just because of where they were. But now we don't even care about region. I mean, you could be from anywhere. How about this one? Northern Illinois playing in the Mountain West, Sacramento State in the MAC. Can't we just swap that? Wouldn't everybody else be happier?
What about Stanford playing in the ACC?
Don't even get me started. being a West Coast guy, as we see a hit by pitch, man, that one hurts. Cale Barney has had himself a day. That's 2 hit by pitches, 2 walks for him. He's been on 4 times. 0 for 0 in this game. That's 2 base runners now for the Berries. We got to go back. Being a West Coast guy, loving the Pac-12, seeing that fall away, and then Stanford and Cal panicking and deciding, you know what, we're going to head to the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, as we sit a few miles away from the Pacific Ocean. come on, that's disgusting to me.
It's certainly different. It's made watching sports a lot more interesting,
Oh, yeah.
especially those ACC conference football games on a Friday night.
Yeah, you're completely correct, and I feel for those volleyball players, badminton players, anything you want to say, going from Stanford and having to fly over to Miami, Raleigh, anywhere you want to say, over on the East Coast, multiple times a week. That sucks for them. I feel for them, but they're also D1 athletes.
Yeah, well, we just came off of our trip to Edmonton, and
Yeah, tell me about
if that's
that.
any experience of what it's like to be a D1 athlete, I'm so appreciative of what they do and how they're able to perform. Josh Mawini, who started for us tonight, I think felt the effects of that plane trip, long bus trip. We were in Ridgefield. We got up at 2 in the morning, got on a bus, crossed the border at about 7 o'clock, got on a plane at about 11 o'clock, landed in Edmonton, lost an hour because they're in mountain time, got there at about 3, got to the field by 4:10 and took BP, So it's a long day, and I'm not going to make excuses for any of the results that we had up there, but it is a very different form of travel than you get used to in a league like this or in most of the colleges these guys play at.
And we talked to Rob Nair a couple innings ago as we see an inside fastball called a strike against Hudson, Florida to start the at-bat 1-1. But he talked about just the geographical size of this conference, just ranging all the way to Alberta from Springfield. But Edmonton's in a league of their own. They're so far away. It's a plane trip no matter what. We have yet to go up there. They're coming down here later in the summer. But what can you tell us about that ballpark, that press box, anything else about that environment?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a former AAA ballpark. The Edmonton Trappers were there from the 80s and 90s. There were a couple of other collegiate or semi-pro teams that played there until the Riverhawks were founded in 2020. But you definitely feel the major league type atmosphere. 9,200 fans can fit in there. I think the biggest capacity we had was the Saturday game. There was about 6,500 people there.
Wow.
So you really feel the energy in the ballpark. The press box is great. They've got multiple booths for guys like us that want to go up and call games and have a space to themselves. It's a little bit of a hike to get up there. It's about 3 floors up, so getting down to the field for the post-game interviews was a little bit of a challenge, but we made it work.
Swing and a miss by Flora gives us a full count with 1 out and 2 runners on here in the 6th inning. Yeah, Edmonton beat you guys in the series, but they're 7-11. They're right now sitting second to last in the North Division, and we talked about it a little bit ago, but everybody kind of bunched up there in the South. Ridgefield 13-5. They've got a 2-game lead. Walla Walla's 11-7. If you go down to us, we're 3 games behind them. That's the 2nd to the 6th spot. So we're all right there, and Hudson, Flora is going to have to walk back to the dugout. Struck out looking by Wyatt Robinson, who's had it going here in this inning. 87-mile-per-hour fastball in the zone. Is this the best you've seen from him so far this summer?
It's one of the best, I would say. The fastball velocity is a little bit down, but I think as long as he's in the strike zone, he's going to feel good. He was a closer type at Olympic, and so the ability to come in and throw strikes and hopefully strand a couple guys here would be big for him.
Yeah, he gets Jake Dodge swinging to start this at-bat with 2 outs. He had only pitched an inning and 2/3 coming into this game so far in the summer, his 3rd appearance. Mentioned 10.80 ERA. That's on its way down as we speak. Wyatt Robinson looks back to second base. 0-1 pitch. Fastball just missing outside again. Want to shout out our umpire crew behind the dish. Derek Dunbar on the bases. Perry Schofield, they're back. We had them in the Bend series, which we ended up sweeping the Elks. You guys just played against the Elks. Tell us about that, because that one was kind of wild.
A couple of heartbreakers Wednesday and Thursday night. We put up an 8 spot in the 2nd inning of Wednesday night's game, and then eventually the Elks came back and won it 15-13, had a 6 spot of their own in the 9th. So that was tough. And then last night we were tied at 5 after 5, and one of our relievers who didn't actually make the trip because he pitched so well and so long yesterday, Nathaniel Carano, he pitched 5 innings in relief and ended up with the loss because of one wild pitch that cost him in the 9th inning.
Yeah, my goodness. It was 2 really close games, crazy games, and probably
great
would have
games
been
to be a part of.
Oh, absolutely. Had to have been great to be on the call, and probably would have been the craziest games of the week had there not been that Wednesday game up in Walla Walla, which the Berries came out on top. We're down 18-9, got 2 runs, went into the top of the 9th. as we see a fly ball back out of play by Jake Dodge. Down 18-11. They reel off 12 runs to take the lead and hold on to it, winning 23-19, the Monsters Inc. score.
Yeah, and we had some history of our own. Jay O'Neill had 2 home runs in 1 inning. Part of that 8-run second inning, he had a home run, a solo home run to lead it off, and a 2-run home run later on in that inning. So that's kind of cool to be a part of for Jay, although I botched the call, unfortunately.
Hey, it happens to the best of us and the worst of us, whatever you want to say, as Jake Dodge got underneath the breaking ball, and it's brought down by Velasquez for out number 3. Harmon Johnson, I've really appreciated having you on the broadcast.
Hey, great to be up here. This is a great setup you got here, great field. So glad that the West Coast League able to show this one off here on a Friday night.
Fantastic. WCL Game of the Week. Harmon Johnson's going to head back to his stream. Hopefully we can have him on maybe again in the future. But best of luck to him and the Yakima Valley Pippins. We're going to take a break, head to the top of the 7th. Berries Baseball live on YouTube and the WCL Live app.
Oh, they're swinging. Oh, now they're running. Now they're running. They got to go around Berry. And Brody, the Blueberry, is going to win the Dizzy Batter.
Nice. Thank you, Leroy. When it comes to berries, trust local experts who have been growing.
Welcome back, everybody. Here's a look at those WCL South Division standings that I was referencing with Harmon Johnson, the Yakima Valley Pippins broadcaster. Ridgefield up at the top, Walla Walla right behind them. They're deadlocked. Game 1 of that series is going to be really important for the South Division over this weekend. Corvallis, Yakima tied in the 3 spot. Portland and the Berries vying for that 4th spot. The last one in the playoffs, Bend and Springfield at the bottom. And we are back. Lucas Plenert, inning number 2 on the mound. He will start us off with a breaking ball inside for ball 1. Facing off against Tyson Miller. Guy who's 1 for 2. Single to center field in the first inning. Walked in the 3rd. That fastball squirts between the legs of Hudson Flora for ball 2. And we got word that Plenert was going to be coming into the game a couple innings ago. This is a guy relieving Nate Shikori. Solid outing from Shikori, went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, but he leaves with the lead. Both these guys playing in the Northwest Conference at the D3 level. Shikori at Willamette, Plenert at George Fox. Both these guys similar stats. They were rivals, and now they're on the same team. Plenert, 4-pitch walk to Tyson Miller to start the 7th. Back to Daichi Furuhata we go. The third baseman batting second for the Pippins. Popped out, grounded out, but he had that RBI double in the 3rd, and he will spit on a fastball up and out. 5 consecutive balls from Lucas Plenert. Daichi Furuhata playing in the spring at SWAC, Southwest Oregon Community College. Here's a pop-up high into the air in shallow center. Weidman loses the cap. Who's going to get there? Danny Weidman taking control as the quarterback of the outfield, calling everybody off and making the catch for out number 1. Officially a P8 pop out to center field. Back to the dugout goes Furuhata, the native to Japan. NWAC first team selection in 2026, Gold Gloves shortstop. Batted .363 in 47 games. But now we're on to Nick Velasquez. 2 for 2, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, a walk as well. Has a runner on with 1 out in the top of the 7th. Here on Friday, nearing 9 p.m. A little over 2 hours away from first pitch. Temperature has dropped as Plenert misses low with the fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Still a beautiful day. The sun is getting real low. I bet the sunset behind us is picturesque. Plenner to the dish. Slider, yes sir. Dirty pitch to Velasquez, the Redlands, California native, 6 feet tall, 195 pounds. Batting .328 on the season. Has 21 hits now, 19 RBIs, by far leads the team. 1-2. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. So it's going to be a hit by pitch. Plenner thought he swung, but nobody else did in the ballpark. So a plunk puts Velasquez on first and moves Miller over to second. 8-4 lead for Marion, trying to get a leg up on the Pippins in this series. And here's that slider. Velasquez, man, it was real close. And I will defer to the umpires here. Check swing. Didn't feel good either. And Plenner misses with the first pitch to Luis Garcia, the right fielder wearing number 15, playing his college ball at Western Oklahoma State. Grounder through the right side into right field. Tyson Miller's going to be held up. Conservative base coaching by Chris Crustangel, manning third base. Everybody advances 1. We've got bases loaded, 1 out after the single from Garcia. And we'll see a timeout. Out of the dugout comes pitching coach Lindsey McCarger to have a chat with his reliever Lucas Plennert. I told you there was some productiveness over in the bullpen. Looks like Colton Amai Nakagawa trying out as a long snapper. Not a bad one there. I used to be a punter back in the day. Quarterback-punter hybrid. I think I would have liked that snap. Amai Nakagawa, a former quarterback himself on the island of Oahu at Pac-5. But he's stuck with baseball. The football ended up in the field of play. And Nakagawa said, "That one's on me, folks." Ended up all the way out into right field. I was giving him praise for the long snapping, and he turned it over. Back to the game. Bases are loaded with 1 out for Jay O'Neill. He will spit on a fastball below the zone. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 O'Neills, 1 for 3 with a single to right field back in the third. Federal Way, Washington native, and that one's, if you're driving up from Salem to Seattle on I-5, you're going to take an exit about halfway through to get to Federal Way. 1-0 pitch. Fastball down and away. Jay O'Neill, 11th game of the summer. 3 for 13 against Marion back in that road series. 2-0 from Plenner. Popped up way into the air. Flora not going to have a shot at it. That one looked like it's coming down off the top of the Pippins dugout. A couple of young fans got out of the way. Count moves to 2-1. Berries, a ground ball away from ending this inning here in the top of the 7th. First trouble they've seen since the 3rd. They're up 4. Great showing tonight. 1,271 fans came out for World Beat celebration, presented by the World Beat Festival. Count moves to 3-1. A couple Beaver fans in the stands, probably out here supporting the future Beavers, Cale and Kyson Barney. We had some former Beavers who were a big part of the team the summer of 2025 as the fly ball heads out to left. Matthew Major loses the cap. He's going home with it. They're going to cut it off, and Tyson Miller will score from third on the sacrifice fly to left field. First RBI of the day for Jay O'Neill makes it 8-5. Pippins wearing the green tops. Everybody gets a high five as they come back into the dugout. O'Neill and Miller leaves us with 2 outs, 2 runners on, and way out in front of it, we have a pinch hitter for the Pippins, and is number 51. That is Jackson Upton, 6'4", 230 from Vancouver. Finds himself in an even 1-1 count. And the 1-1 popped up and out of play. Back toward the concourse behind us. Very active game time. People mulling around, looking at all the different food options that we have here at Chemeketa Baseball Field. Fastball in the dirt, evens the count, 2-2. Jackson Upton playing his college ball at St. Martin's University, up in the Olympia area. And that was a nice 2-strike pitch by Plenert. The slider at 74 miles per hour misses low. Upton went to Prairie High School in Vancouver and previously played for Yakima Valley College, so he's used to the area. And he has earned himself a walk. Fastball misses in. Bases loaded once more for the Pippins, down 3. That one definitely inside, got away from Plenert at 88 miles per hour. And here comes Malachi Emery Henderson. This guy's got a big bat on his shoulder. He's been swinging away all night. 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a line out to right, and a walk. Came in batting 129 in 10 games. He falls down 0-2. Has 4 hits, had a home run in opening day against Walla Walla. 4 RBIs on the summer. Was 2 for 7. 2 of his 4 hits this year came against the Berries back in games 1 and 3 of that series in Central Washington. 2-strike pitches outside. Tying run is on first for the Pippins here in the top of the 7th. Plenert with a 1-2. Popped up into the air. It's going to be over toward third base. Nolan Rowe took off his hat, threw it to the ground, and makes the catch. Didn't like it on the top of his head. That's okay. Anyway, you've got to get the out. Do it. And that is a great point by Cooper Kripe. He is a catcher. He's used to throwing off the hat. Fantastic. That'll do it for the top of the 7th. We'll head to the bottom half of the inning. Berries up 8-5. Marion Berries baseball live on YouTube and the WCL live app.
Me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. I don't care if we ever go back for its root for the Berries. They know when it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Very nice. You can catch Leroy Furwood on KTEL Records. 99 cents.
Welcome back, everybody. Here's a game recap right before the bottom of the 7th inning. Yakima started things off in the top of the 1st. It was Nick Velasquez with a double to right center to score a run and give the Pippins the lead. The Berries answered right back. Martin Serrano coming through again. Grounder up the middle, snuck through into center field. He scored Sawyer Nelson from second to tie the ball game, 1-1. Neither team scored in the second, but then it was Yakima. The bats came alive. 3 consecutive doubles off the bats of Daichi Furuhara, Nick Velasquez, and Luis Garcias. 3 RBIs. They scored 3 in that inning to go up 4-1. But then it was the Berries, just back and forth in this game. Matthew Major, single through the right side, scored a run. They put up 4 in the bottom of the 4th and then 3 in the bottom of the 5th. 7 in a row to go up 8-5. was the go-ahead run. Wild pitch, got away from the catcher Ramos, allowed Nolan Rowe to score. They've held the lead since. Bottom of the 7th, up 8-5 as the Pippins get one back in the top half of the inning. We've got a new pitcher on the bump for the Pippins. Dan Bradley, the 6'7", no, you heard me correctly, 210-pounder from Keller, Texas. Goes with the off speed on the first pitch. Ball 1, outside. Grounder up the middle by Major. Play is made by the shortstop Derek Almeida to get out number 1. That makes Major 1 for 3 on the night with an RBI single that we just saw in the game recap. Dan Bradley on the bump. He's got 1 1/3 inning under his belt so far this summer. 3rd appearance. 1 walk, 1 hit given up, and 2 earned runs. Leaves him with a 13.50 ERA. I think that one's going to improve as we go. First pitch to Nolan Rowe is low and outside in the dirt. .1-0 pitch to Rowe. Spit on, that's ball 2. And Nolan Rowe came through back in the 4th inning. RBI single into left center field. Brought home a run. Kept the bats going in that inning. Scored 7 in a row between the 4th and the 5th to take the lead. And he just turned away from a dirty breaking ball. Came off of his shoulder into the zone. Dan Bradley playing his college ball at Western Oklahoma State, as did his first baseman Nick Velasquez and his catcher Obel Ramos. Went with the same pitch, but this one misses. 3 balls, 1 strike. Pitching for Western Oklahoma State in the spring. He appeared in 10 games through 10 innings, 13 strikeouts, 7 walks. 6.30 ERA. And on 5 pitches, Nolan Rowe will walk to give the Berries a base runner here in the bottom of the 7th. And as the sun gets low, it's 9:07 p.m. in Salem. There's a great look at it. So beautiful out here at Chemeketa Baseball Field. No better place to be. I don't care what Commissioner Rob Nair says. I think Salem's the spot. Pickoff by Bradley, not in time. Sliding back safe is Rowe. We go back to the top of the order, and it's been a night for Sawyer Nelson. 3 walks and a 2 RBI single to right field back in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 1. Scored a few runs as well. Bradley starts the at-bat with a fastball that's popped straight back up into the air. And that one lands right behind us. Heard it bounce on the roof. Watch out up there. PA announcer Bobby Merwin, productions manager Owen Adams. Watch out for flying baseballs. Counts 0-1. Bradley goes back with the straight stuff. It misses outside. .81 miles per hour from Bradley. 6'7", lengthy dude. It's kind of a weird delivery for a guy that size. Kind of shortens it up near his ear. But who am I to judge? He's going to pump in ball number 2. It's 2-1 count to Nelson, the Salem, Oregon native, playing a summer ball right in his hometown. Graduate of the South Salem High School Saxons, was just named to the first-team All-State team today. 2nd consecutive year. He's a 3-time All-State, was second team as a sophomore. You've heard it before, I'll say it again. all-time leader at the 6A level in the state of Oregon in home runs, RBIs, and stolen bases. Had a fantastic high school career. Finds himself in a 3-1 count. There's Bradley. The fastball's up and out of the zone. How about walk number 4 for Sawyer Nelson? And this is getting ridiculous, folks. Can somebody throw this kid a strike? The Berries boys love it. They've got the cowbells going. 2 runners on, 1 out for Marion. And here comes Danny Weidman. Talked to Danny in pregame, and he's super excited to be back in Salem. Had a great spring, and he's looking forward to going back to Butler Community College in the fall. And if he can replicate the year he had, he will be headed to a big school in the near future. Check swing makes it 0-1. Weidman 0 for 3 with a walk and an RBI. Awaits the 0-1 from Bradley. Popped up, back and out of play. Makes it 0-2. We talked about the connection between these two cities, Yakima and Salem. They're not as different as you probably think. In the state of Oregon, you probably think of Salem as a bigger city, Portland being number 1, Eugene being number 2, but Salem's right up there. Yakima, you don't think about that the same way in Washington. As Bradley misses with the breaking ball, stayed up. Population of Salem, 180,000 people. That's right up around Eugene. They're kind of vying for the 2nd spot in the state. Yakima, probably not as small as you think. They're up near 100,000 up there in central Washington, the 11th biggest city in the state to our north. 1-2 pitch is grounded to third. Furuhara goes to second with it, and they'll get the lead runner of that double play, but Weidman will be safe at first on the fielder's choice. That allows Nolan Rowe to advance to third, so we've got runners on the corners for the Berries with 2 outs. And Martin Serrano is back. Last time we saw him was leading off the 6th inning. Struck out looking. Sweatshirts have come out for the Pippins. They're not used to this kind of weather. Some breeze still flowing out toward left field. Great for a right-handed hitter, but we've got a lefty in there right now. Martin Serrano, the switch hitter, sticking with the left-hand batter's box. Danny Weidman steals second to give the Berries 2 runners in scoring position. After that RBI single up the middle in the first inning, Serrano's 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. First time matching up against Bradley. The 1-0 way up and out. If you're wondering what the Pippins record was with this green jersey on the season, they're 3-4. So underneath 500 while wearing the green tops. They have not lost with the white uniform on. Hopefully we don't see that here at the ballpark across this 3-game series. 1-4 in the blue, 2-1 in the cream. So they got 4 different jerseys. 3-0 pitch inside and low. Martin Serrano walks on 4 pitches and loads the bases. We've seen this situation a bunch of different times for both sides. And there goes head coach Chris Crustangel. And when you see the headband, I think that does it for the guy in the mound's day. That will do it for Dan Bradley. Went 2/3 of an inning. We'll take a break before we see the next reliever come in for the Pippins. Legends of the game coming up before we come back. Marion Berries baseball.
College summer ball is a blast. Playing baseball and going all over the Pacific Northwest is beautiful in the summertime. Great league, fun cities to travel to, great weather, fun ballparks. Give me a kind of like a taste of what it was like to play professional baseball with the schedule, playing, every day, taking long bus rides. Made a lot of good friends on those teams, and a couple big leaguers on my team. Matt Duffy, Matt Boyd. You get to meet guys from all over the country, come together for a couple months in the summertime. All try to get better and push each other, and a lot of good memories looking back on that summer in Corvallis.
Fuel the adrenaline is coming out now.
Yeah, his hand on the mouth.
He was a key piece of our club that season, and he was one of the most talented, if not the most talented position player on the field at that time. And Mitchie, you know, he was going through some early struggles, mostly due to the fact that his lower back was tight and sore all the time. And coming off his freshman season at Cal Poly, he was shy.
Who was your first kiss?
I don't even remember it.
We had a pink bat day, a breast cancer awareness day. Next thing you know, Mitch comes up and hits one out of the park, and he ended up not letting go of that pink bat for a couple of weeks. I mean, I think he went on a tear, maybe 5 or 6 home runs in the next 10 or 12 games, and it was really neat to see kind of that turnaround, and kind of came out of his shell a little bit more.
Yeah, summer ball days, it's hard to get your hands on good bats, so once you got one, just ride with it. You know, we were blessed to play, you know, OSU and Corvallis, and what a great, you know, little college town that was, and it just prepares you for professional baseball. I think it was such a valuable experience for me to go through in college, and it definitely helped me in the minor leagues.
Welcome back, everybody. Always a great opportunity to look back, the legends of the past. Here on WCL Game of the Week, Friday, June 19th. I think that came into contact with Tyler Dunning. Yes, it did. An RBI hit by pitch. The first one thrown by the relief pitcher. And that is Shifu Hasagawa coming in, pushing a run across the plate for the Berries. They're up 9-5 after the RBI hit by pitch from Tyler Dunning. How about Cale Barney, my player to watch back at the plate? 2 hit by pitches, 2 walks. Can he come through with the bat? Curveball drops in at 68 miles per hour from Hasagawa. Playing his college ball at Sussex County Community College for the Skylanders from Kawasaki, Japan. Standing 5'6". There goes Barney popping one up to the left side. I think it's going to sneak out of play over toward the picnic deck. Struck out 24 batters for Sussex in the spring. 12 appearances, 2 starts, 4-0 record in 28 innings pitched, 3.81 ERA. He's up 0-2 against Barney. 6th appearance for the Pippins this summer. The 0-2 up and out moves us to a 1-2 count. 6 1/3 innings pitched for the Pippins, 9.95 ERA, 3 Ks, 5 walks on the summer thus far. Barney just has to fend that one off. 69 mile per hour curveball that was dropping close to the zone. Barney keeps himself alive. The 6'5", 200-pounder. We've got 11 inches of difference between these two guys facing off. The 1-2 swung on and missed, and Hasagawa does his job, ends the inning. Only gave up the 1 run off the hit by pitch, but it could have been a lot worse. Kind of a missed opportunity there for Marion. They're still going to go to the top of the 8th, up 9-5. We'll take a break here on the broadcast. Berries baseball live on YouTube in the WCL live app.
You flip the bottle, and you get a point every time it lands correctly. You guys will go until I say stop. You get this side of the table. They need to see your greatness. We have Ford. What's your name? White? No, Ford and Jackson. I knew it was something. All right, ready? Go. 0. 1. 1. Still 1, guys. Still 1. 2. 3. 2. 3, 4. 4. Next one wins. 5. We got a winner. It's Ford. Give it up for Ford and the Minute to Win It, sponsored by Minuteman Press.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by AOE Chiropractic, specializing in sports medicine, strength and conditioning, and performing arts and esports medicine. Dr. Sean Barnes offers sports physicals, injury evaluations, and comprehensive treatment plans at aoechiropractic.com. Top of the 8th inning, we've got a new pitcher on the bump for the Berries, who are wearing the all-whites. Taylor Worth, guy who shares a birthday with me, March 6th, 5'11", 165, the righty from Coronado, California, down in the San Diego area, playing his college ball at UC Davis, wearing number 47. Worth was a second-team All-League selection as a sophomore and junior at Coronado. First team as a senior. That same year, he was at an 8-2 record, 80 Ks, 1.20 ERA, and 73 innings, while leading the Islanders to an Eastern League title and section semifinal appearance. And he will start us off here in the 8th inning with a fastball high and inside against Derek Almeida. Guy wearing number 14, 0 for 3, 2 groundouts, and a strikeout looking. The 5'10 shortstop from Rancho Cucamonga. 77-mile-per-hour slider drops into the zone to even the count. Derek Almeida transferring to Fresno State for his junior year after playing a year at Citrus College and a year at Chaffee College. It's the Donald Bray Bowl, if you remember back to the Port Angeles coaching staff. Donald Bray coaching at both those colleges in the last 2 years. Almeida, 46 games for Citrus in the spring, bat .376. Finds himself in a 2-1 count against Worth. Soft liner, back up the middle, drops in front of Danny Weidman in center field for a single. Pippins get the 8th started off right. We're blessed to have a couple of special guests on the broadcast tonight for West Coast League Game of the Week. The WCL Commissioner, Rob Nair, joined us for about an inning in the 4th, and then Harmon Johnson, the Pippins broadcaster, came in and did color for us in the 6th inning. Thanks to both of those guys. Great talks. I still think the University of Nebraska should have stayed in the Big 12, but I'm kind of a traditionalist at this point now. No balls, 1 strike. Here comes Worth. Swing and a miss. Correa didn't even get close to that one. Correa on the day, 0 for 3. Fly out, did reach on an error and a pop out. This is the beer batter. That's why you hear the chant. Here comes Worth. Gonna go right at him. Correa catches a piece. Correa, the sophomore, going back for year number 2 at Utah Valley. From Keahu, Hawaii. Went to Kamehameha High School. Actually had a couple of college teammates at Pacific University who came from Kamehameha. Payoff pitch. Back up against the screen. Probably would have went right over the top of this Minuteman press box had the screen not been there. There goes Grayson Bonanno, retrieving the foul ball. He's got the tarp on, getting a little chillier as the breeze blows through. No more sun in the sky. 9:23 p.m. The 0-2 pitch. Oh, yeah. Strike number 3. Taylor Worth going at him with the curveball, and that catches the upper half of the zone. Out number 1. Nothing you can do about that. .73-mile-per-hour breaking ball had Correa turning away. 1 down here in the 8th. And we're back to the top of the order. Tyson Miller Sophomore left fielder from CSU Bakersfield. Leaves a fastball low. He's 1 for 2 with 2 walks and a single to center field. Miller, a business management major at Bakersfield, plans on becoming a financial advisor. Second year of Summer League baseball. This is the first time he's been in Yakima. Last summer he was playing down in Fresno for the Fresno A's at Chukchansi Park. Finds himself in a 2-0 count. There goes Worth. Curveball stays outside. $1,271 fans came in today for Game 1 of this series against the Yakima Valley Pippins. Gonna be big in the standings as a fastball finds its way for Worth. Perry sitting at 8-10 in the 6th spot. They have 1 sweep against Ben, so hold the tiebreaker over them. Everybody else that they've faced, as we see a fastball just miss low and outside to walk Miller. Gives us 2 runners on for Daichi Furuhara, the third baseman batting second. Back in the 3rd inning. Drove in a run with this double. Started a chain of them from the right side. Got a hold of a breaking ball from Nate Shikori. Took it to left center field off the wall. Trying to come through again. Spits on a first pitch fastball. Counts 1-0. The Berries in the South Division have now played the Walla Walla Sweets, Corvallis Knights, Ridgefield Raptors, and Yakima Valley Pippins. And right now, all 4 of those teams have the tiebreaker over them. It's going to be tough to climb back out of it. Need some wins, need them fast. This one would go a long way. It's a 1-1 count to Furuhara, native to Nagano, Japan. Came in batting .349 on the summer. 2 homers, now 14 RBIs. Furuhara played last summer in Springfield. 5 games, 1 start. Actually pitched for the Drifters. 11 1/3 innings pitched. He's well ahead in the count, 3-1. For Southwest Oregon Community College, Furuhara was a Pacific Association All-American 3rd team selection. Batting .363 down at SWAC. Awaits the 3-1 offering from Worth. Takes a peek back at second. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him to turn all the way around. Dipsy-do. Full count. Smile from Furuhara. One out, 2 runners on. Late inning baseball here at Chemeketa. Here comes Worth with the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Steve Wright, number 3. Big momentum shift right there for out number 2, Worth. Getting back on the dominant side. Came all the way back. It was a 3-1 count. Then he gets Furuhara swinging. Did it 3 different times. Kept going back to that slider. Finally got Furuhara to swing and miss. 2 outs for Velasquez as we start the at-bat off with a ball 1. Velasquez now 2 for 2 with a walk and a hit by pitch. Still those 2 doubles, 2 RBIs. Graduate of Arlington High School. Will be going back for his sophomore year at Citrus College. The 1-0 breaking ball is low and in the dirt. Hudson Flora working hard behind the dish. The future gaucho of UC Santa Barbara. Kind of got the shift on out the infield. Tyler Dunning, the shortstop, near second base. Sawyer Nelson and Jake Dodge kind of in their normal spots. Here comes the 2-0. Swung on and missed by Velasquez. He's trying to get everything with one swing. Pippins down 4 in the top of the 8th. A win for the Berries would even up the season series and push them to 7-3 all time. Talked about it with the broadcaster Harmon Johnson. Pippins 5 wins away from matching their season output last year. They were 14-40 in the basement of the WCL South, but definitely a more talented roster this year. A good lineup. Just need to find enough pitching, and that's kind of what you got to do here. Thank you, Panda Apples 303. It's always great to have a little bit of recognition, but that's not why we do it. We do it for you. We do it to show off these guys. 3-1 pitch drops into the zone. We've got a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Taylor Worth trying to get the Berries out of the 8th inning. Counts 3-2 for Velasquez. 2 runners on, 2 outs. Worth. Dirty pitch, but Velasquez catches a piece with the lumber. Keeps himself alive. Let's get a win for Cater's Skycore. Showing that much energy in the comment section deserves a W. Count remains 3-2. Worth in the stretch. To Velasquez. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Taylor Worth put his back against the wall. Just had to make it a little more difficult for himself. 2 runners on, 1 out. He strikes out the next 2 batters swinging. He's going to saunter on back to the dugout with a 4-run lead. There's that pitch. 88-mile-per-hour fastball to get Velasquez to chase. Berries up 9-5. We will go to the bottom of the 8th inning. This is the WCL Game of the Week, live on the WCL Live app and on YouTube. Cole Weber taking a break. Thanks, everybody, for sticking around with us. The WCL Game of the Week here at Chemeketa Baseball Field. It's 9-5 Berries. Started off with the Pippins taking the lead early. They've got 4 extra base hits, but it was Marion with 7 runs in the 4th and 5th to really take control of this game. And Sawyer Nelson, 4 walks. He's 1 for 1 with a 2 RBI single. And that was kind of interesting right there. I don't know if you saw it on your screen, but both the catcher, Jackson Upton, and our home plate umpire, Derek Dunbar, kind of ran out there in unison as they come back in the same way. You don't see that very often. Those 2 guys are in lockstep. That's called efficiency right there. So we will lead off the inning here in the bottom of the 8th. Berries up 4, trying to push a couple more runs across the plate, make it a little bit easier for him. Hudson Floor is going to lead off. Takes a first pitch curveball outside for ball 1. Sticking on the mound for Yakima, Shifu Hasagawa. Gave up a run in the last inning, but got him out of a jam. Fastball misses low and outside. Shifu standing 5'6", weighing in about 170. If you trust Sussex County College, it's 172. The 2-0 will find the zone for Hudson Flora. 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts, a walk. From Foothill High School, Player of the Year in his conference in the spring. Probably on his way to being All-State in California. One of the highest touted catchers in the Golden State and across the country. The Gauchos are getting a good one. First team All-League in 2025. And we've moved our way into a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Hudson Flora to lead off the bottom of the 8th. And we've seen a lot of unique deliveries tonight, but this one's probably chiefly among them. Shifu Hasegawa kind of shows that thing off to people behind him as Hudson Flora almost got that one to drop down the right field line, snuck foul. Little curve at the end, 2 feet away from being a double at least. Flora, 2026 EBAL Player of the Year, first team All-Conference, multiple years in a row. Takes a curveball that just misses high. Another leadoff base runner for the Berries. I mentioned the 6-game losing streak that Marion went on. Included a bunch of different teams. Lost a game to Bend, then 2 to Corvallis, and then were swept by Ridgefield all in a row before beating Corvallis on Monday this week 13-3. But the Bats did not come alive in any of those games. They were dormant. And I think it was those 2 home runs in the Game 3 loss to Ridgefield on the 14th by Martin Serrano and Cale Barney. As we see a grounder to second base. Correa to second, to first. And 2 outs for the Pippins quickly. 4-6-3 double play. Swings things in their favor here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Those 2 home runs against the Raptors kind of jump-started the offense. They scored 13 against Corvallis, and then in the series against Walla Walla, they went 9-23, and then 6. 23 happens to be the most runs scored ever in a WCL game by a single team, and then the 42 that were put up between the Sweets and the Berries in the 23-19 win. Most runs combined all time in West Coast League history. I told you it was one of the wildest games ever to be played in this league. 1-0 pitch finds the zone, inside part against Matthew Major, who's got 2 outs and nobody out there. Berries trying to get back to 500. They're 8-10 right now. Majors watched 3 pitches. He's down 1-2 in the count with 2 outs. 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Decorated high school player in the state of Ohio at both Troy Christian and Pro 5. Chopper to third. Furuhata's got to charge it. The throw to first. 1 hop, but Major beats it out. Infield single by the left fielder. The soft ground ball to third proved to be effective. Some life here in the bottom of the 8th. There's a look at it again. Furuhata, 1 hopper, really close, but I think Major beat it out. Pitch to Nolan Rowe is low below the zone. Nolan's 1 for 2, RBI single, hit by pitch and a walk. He's been on 3 times. He's taken 2 pitches, both of them missing low. And Shifu Hasegawa from Kawasaki, Japan. Rowe awaits the 2-0 count. Make it 3-0. 9:39 p.m. We're almost 3 hours from first pitch. Game 1 of this series. Yakima making the drive down. It was almost 5 hours. They hit traffic a couple of different times. There's a fastball right down the pipe from Hasegawa. 77 miles per hour, the straight ball. This is a guy who wins with finesse, craftiness, not power. 3-1 offering, low and inside. And there's 2 base runners for the Berries. Game tomorrow, 6:35 first pitch on Saturday, and 5:05 first pitch on Sunday. That's what we got up ahead. Berries will be on the road against the Portland Pickles during the week, 23rd through 25th, and then we will be back here at home against the Corvallis 9th, the weekend of the 26th. 3 games against the Knights. And Sawyer Nelson back in the box. Has not been put out yet. 4 walks and a 2 RBI single to right field. If the Berries can hold on, he is my pick for player of the game. Still got some ways to go. Late inning baseball. I mean, after Wednesday in Walla Walla, you know anything can happen. It's a 2-0 count for Nelson. This is where he lives, up in the count. Pitch from Hasegawa, catches a piece of the zone. Two outs, 2 runners on. Nelson gave it his all there, but he misses. Deuces are wild. Looking ahead for Yakima, they will be at home against the Wenatchee Apple Sox coming up during the week. It's the team who currently leads the North Division. They will host Kelowna as well next weekend. So 2 series against 2 North Division opponents. And then they've got the Dub C Fish Sticks coming to town on the 29th. We're going to see Dub C in July, right around the All-Star break. So get ready for some fish sticks. Full count pitch. Nelson, he knew it immediately. Drew another walk. That's number 5. 31 walks in the summer. Not sure what the record is for one season in the WCL. But I'm thinking Sawyer Nelson is probably on pace for it. Unheard of. He's played 13 games. He's been walked 31 times. Slated to head to Loyola Marymount in the fall. Going to play with a couple of current Berries. Andrew Moon, Alex Chavez. Still haven't seen Alex come back for the summer of 2026. He's been rehabbing the arm. Big part of this game, besides from the timely hitting by the Berries lineup, has been the 15 walks issued by the Pippins staff. Just 5 hits for the Berries tonight, 9 runs put on the board. Those walks have helped a lot. Bases are loaded. A couple more runs would hurt. Danny Weidman with the bases juiced. This is the WCL game of the week. Hopefully you tuned in. Pops one up in the air. Staying in the infield. Furuhata running around. He falls to the ground. Might have gotten lost up in the black sky, but he makes the catch. Made it look probably harder than it needed to be, but an out's an out. And that does it. 8 innings in the books. Berries up 4, 9-5. We will head to the top of the 9th, see if they can close this thing out. This is Berries Baseball live on YouTube and the WCL live app. WCL Game of the Week coming back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, Berries fans, Pippins fans, anybody tuning in across the West Coast League, we thank you. Top of the ninth, and this is what's going on. We've got 4 games going final. Wenatchee, Bellingham, Ridgefield, and Victoria all snagging W's tonight. Pickles trying to close out the Drifters, as are the Corvallis Knights and Kelowna Falcons. We're going to see what the Berries can do with a new pitcher on the bump. That's Brody McMullen, the righty. Trying to end this thing in the right fashion. 88 miles per hour. The fastball misses low against Luis Garcia. Brody McMullen from Salem misses outside with the breaking ball. He's 2-0 now against Garcia. Graduated from West Salem High School back in 2022, a first-team All-League as a senior. He gets Garcia to offer the high fastball. 2 balls, 1 strike, the high heat. Garcia, the native to Harlem, New York, from Citius Prep High School. 6'2", 215. Fouls one back against the backstop. Garcia helped lead a Western Oklahoma State team that was second in the country in batting average as a team, batted .370 at the NJCAA D2 level. Here's a high pop-up into the sky. And is our new right fielder, Noah Scherer, who makes the catch. We've got 1 out. 2 away from a Game 1 W for the Berries. Jay O'Neill's in the box for the Pippins, and he will take a first pitch fastball right down Main Street. 89 miles per hour for a strike. O'Neill's got 1 hit today. It was to right field back in the 3rd inning. Also was a sac fly RBI. There's 1 hit right to Jake Dodge. Didn't even have to move. Liner into the glove for out number 2, and that's tough for O'Neill. 88 off the bat. Hard hit baseball right at our first baseman. It's got a little bit closer for the Berries. I talked to head coach Tucker Brock before the game today. We actually had a dust devil run through the stadium as we were sitting below the press box. Picked up a bunch of trash. We've got a pinch hitter for the Pippins. That is number 12, Jackson Walker. 2-way guy who swings and misses. Gave it his all there to start the at-bat. Walker has finished his 2 years at Yakima Valley Community College. Looking to move on to a 4-year. 6'1", 195 from Maple Valley, a graduate of Tahoma High School. Played 51 games for the Yakima Valley Yaks in the spring. And Brody McMullen's moving quick. Already 1-2 in the count, 2 outs and nobody on. This is it. This is the last chance for the Pippins. They need 4 to tie, 5 to take the lead. Late inning baseball. Home plate umpire Derek Dunbar kind of took one off the shoulder. He said he's okay. Coach Brock coming out to check on him. We've got a big powwow with everybody at the plate. Derek Dunbar, Perry Schofield, our umpire crew tonight. Coach Crust Angel and Coach Brock. Lead men of both sides, but talking to Coach Brock before the game, he was talking about how each week they try to win the week, and this is a week where the Berries are playing 7 games. So they're already 2-2 with 3 games left. Just got to win 2 of the next 3 to take the week. And if you win enough weeks here in the WCL, you can bunch your way to a playoff appearance. Counts 1-2. Pippins down to their last out. McMullen to the plate. And that one way outside. Bounces all the way back to the backstop. Jackson Walker batted .315 for the Yaks in the spring. 7 homers, 54 RBIs. deuces are wild. Here in the ninth, McMullen, swing and a miss. Steve right, number 3. And Brody McMullen shuts the door on the Pippins. He earned a light show. And the Berries secure win number 1 here of this WCL South Division Series. The West Coast League Game of the Week here at Chemeketa Baseball Field. All facets working for them. 9-5 win over the Pippins. They tie the season series 2-2. Take the all-time series 7-3. Lights still going crazy. 1,271 fans who were here at the beginning of the ballpark. It's probably not that number now. They're celebrating. It's going to do it for our festivities up here in the press box. We're going to take a break here on the broadcast, come back with our WCL Game of the Week Player of the Game after this break.
Well done, well done. Those vocal lessons are just coming in good for you, Leroy.
And welcome back, everybody. I am here with the player of the game here in Game 1 of this Yakima series, Sawyer Nelson, waving to the fans, the Berry boys behind him. Sawyer, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's up?
I'm fantastic, Sawyer. It's the WCL Game of the Week, and you showed out tonight.
I appreciate
5
it.
walks, a single with 2 RBIs. And I've got some news for you. We were doing some look at the stats in the WCL history. You've got 31 walks this summer.
Okay.
You know you're 7 away from the all-time WCL record in a season.
That was quick.
You're telling me, man. What do you do? What is it about you? You get ahead in the count 2-0 every single time. How do you draw so many walks?
I have no idea, man. I mean, it's just like some guys just don't want to throw to me. And, I mean, when I was talking to the coaches, they have no clue what's going on. And, I mean, I'll take them. Like, I'm being a team guy, and, yeah, team first, and I'll take my bases.
Yeah, team guy is one way to put it. I mean, you put yourself on base every single time. You score a lot of runs, which some people might say is selfish. I don't think so. You score a lot of runs for the Berries here at the ballpark. Sawyer Nelson committed to Loyola Marymount for the fall 2026-27. Another question that I've got for you, Sawyer, is what do you want to accomplish for the rest of this summer? What do you want to do with the Berries here in 2026?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm just getting ready for college and see what happens. But right now I'm just having fun and hanging out with the guys.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great crew, a lot of good dudes in the dugout, in the bullpen. I mean, whatever they're doing down in the bullpen, nobody knows. That's all up to them. So how do you feel? You had a couple of workouts with some MLB teams. Did those go well for you? How do you feel about those, getting some looks from big-time squads?
Yeah, I mean, it was an awesome experience, and I mean, I felt like I did good. I have no clue what they're thinking, but we'll see what happens on the draft. But right now I'm just looking at college, and yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm rooting for you. I hope things go well. You talk to the Astros, the Braves.
Yep.
I mean, you're a stand-up kid, and you're obviously a guy who gets ahead in every single count, and you get on base. 31 walks. I mean, I'm still just reeling about that. I can't believe the record's only 38. That is something to hang your hat on. You had a fantastic night, my friend. One last question for you.
Yes, sir.
What do you think the Berries can do this summer? What do you think the ceiling is for this team?
I mean, I'd say there is no ceiling. We'll see what happens, but right now we're just starting to heat up right now, and yeah, I'm having a great time. Seems like the rest of the guys are having fun, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, everybody's having a great time all around this ballpark. The ceiling is the roof. That saying doesn't make any sense, but that's the one to use for this situation. Sawyer, fantastic game. You're the player of the game tonight here at Chemeketa Baseball Field. Great win, 9-5 over the Pippins. You have a great night, my friend.
I appreciate it. You too, Cole.
I appreciate it, Sawyer. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. WCL Game of the Week. We're going to say goodbye here in the Minuteman press box. I am Cole Weber. One last time, thanks to Rob Nair, the WCL commissioner, and Harmon Johnson, the Yakima Valley Pippins broadcaster, for coming on, joining us for this WCL Game of the Week. That's going to do it for me, Cole Weber, signing off from Chemeketa.